7 Sports takes you to Monica Oval for the clash between Sydney and the Kangaroos in round 2 of the Ansett Australia Cup.
Good afternoon and welcome to the nation's capital in Canberra and Monica Oval on what is a stinking hot day. Temperature currently about 37 degrees for the game between the Sydney Swans and the Kangaroos. Well, since the Kangaroos have made a push towards Sydney, they're both trying to attract an audience down here at the nation's capital, and both clubs have their marketers out trying to win new memberships for the year 2000. Well, this is virtually a knockout game, a most important game because both teams won in the first round last week. They're in Group 1, as you can see, Sydney and the Kangaroos both having wins, Richmond and Brisbane losing, and so whoever wins today will be 2 out of 2 and will be a long way towards making the semi-finals of the competition. Virtually a knockout game. And it's a great pleasure to welcome our commentators again, Paul Roos and Tony Lockett. Afternoon, boys.
Good afternoon, Drew.
Your beloved Swannies playing. It's a big game for them, isn't it?
Yeah, look, really looking forward to the game today. Both teams, as you said, came off good wins last week. I thought the Kangaroos were very good against Richmond, and the Sydney Swans had a fantastic win over the Brisbane Lions up in Cairns. So it should be a great game.
And Plugger, you'd be pretty happy you'd retired because it's too hot to play footy, isn't it?
It is very hot, Drew, and I think it's, you know, like the start of any season, whether it's Ansett Cup or whether it's practice matches, they're very hard on the body until you get some sort of match fitness, and with the weather the way it is today, it just makes it even tougher. The boys are certainly going to earn it out there today.
Well, there are special heat rules in place for the game today. It's a bit like playing in the tropics, like Cairns and Darwin last week. Quarter time and three-quarter time extended by 5 minutes. Half-time break is a 25-minuter, and the team squad has been extended to 26 players, which allows 8 players on the interchange bench per team. And we were in Cairns last week, and we saw the Sydney Swans wearing the ice jackets. But here are the Kangaroos coming out, breaking the banner that says Peter Bell 100 determined games. And he's been a wonderful acquisition after he came over from the Fremantle Dockers. And the Kangaroos never take any of these games lightly. They won the Ansett Cup in 95 and 98 and went on to win the Day Premiership the year following in 96 and 99. They've yet to win the double of an Ansett Cup and a Premiership in the same year, and I'm tipping that they'd be wanting to do that this year, the reigning Day Premiers, the Kangaroos. Well, let's have a look at the Swans in Cairns last week, and they went to extraordinary measures to keep themselves cool. We saw players with big fans on the interchange bench and even getting the ice vests on, and you've been pretty close to the players during the week. Will they have taken any harm from that?
Well, I spoke to the doctors actually before the game, Drew, and they think they've recovered well from last week's game in Cairns, and it also may be a bit of an advantage that they did play in the heat last week. They should be a little bit more acclimatised to it than the Kangaroos, who played on a coolish night last week. So hopefully, for the Swans' sake, it might be a bit of an advantage to them.
Well, let's have a look at the Sydney lineup, and we've highlighted the players who have played 100 or more AFL games, and they'll need a bit of experience because the Kangaroos have lots of premiership players in.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of experience there, Drew. Players like Wayne Swass and Dale Lewis, Andrew Dunkley have really racked some games up together. They're going to certainly look to their experienced players today, but also the younger players and also the likes of Michael O'Loughlin and Adam Goods, who both played fantastic last week. If they can carry that form through today, the Swans will certainly go a long way into making this a great match.
Well, the Swans have joined the Kangaroos out on the ground. It is in magnificent condition, and even though they played cricket here only last week, apparently the centre square is nice and spongy. Well, the Kangaroos line up, and we've highlighted their premiership players, although there are a lot gone. Brett Allison has gone to Sydney, so he's playing against them today. John Longmire's retired, Roberts has retired, Mooney's gone to Geelong and Welsh to Adelaide, and they're also missing the likes of McKernan, Capuano, Motlop and Stevens, who are on the list but injured.
Yeah, look, it's nearly a full-strength side, isn't it? You've got McKernan, Capuano and probably Anthony Stevens that could force their way into that side. But you did say before, they do take every game seriously, the Kangaroos, and I'm sure they're looking for another big win today after their win against Richmond last week.
And part of that win against Richmond last week was their skipper, Wayne Carey. You might think he'd take it a little bit easy in pre-season, but not the king, Wayne Carey. Roaming around inside the forward 50, he was absolutely sensational. Couple of marks, couple of goals, and Wayne Carey will be lining up against the Swans here today, and he is just one of the colossuses of the competition, and even in pre-season, Wayne Carey will be taking absolutely everything fair dinkum. Roosie, you've been on the coaching staff with the Swans defence. So if you had to be in charge of how to stop Carey, how do you do it?
Look, I think the first thing you've got to do is not play him body on body. I think Darren Gasper made the mistake a few times of getting too close to him. You've really got to take a step, 2 steps away from him, give yourself a leap, try and punch the ball away, because he's so very strong, and as soon as he gets on top of you and able to use his upper body strength, he's almost impossible to stop.
Well, there's Winston Abraham, who, remember a premiership game played up here a couple of seasons ago in 1998. He took the mark of the season, and let's hope he turns something on today like what he did in 98.
Grant decides to give it to somebody who can kick long, Wayne Carey. He puts... Winston! Sensational grab!
The Winston Abraham special, the big run, a big launch, and a big grab.
So welcome back to Manuka Oval for this second round clash in the Ansett Australia Cup between the Sydney Swans and the Kangaroos. It is hot and partly cloudy, at the moment bright sun, currently 37 and an expected minimum of 32. Not really the conditions you associate with coming to inland Canberra. That's what we have today. Kangaroos there preparing, Robert Scott, number 8, and the captains, Andrew Dunkley, acting for the Swans in the absence of Paul Kelly out injured. And Andrew Dunkley wins the toss, and the Swans will go left to right in the first quarter.
And you expect those two guys to play on each other too. I think Plugger, Andrew Dunkley and Wayne Carey, have had some pretty good battles over the years too.
Yeah, they've had some great tussles, and it'll certainly be a great matchup.
Well, the Swans really bonding before the start of the game, getting in tight in the huddle. Well, I was up here last year when the Swans played Collingwood, when you were out there, and what sort of a difference is it? 12 months on and you've retired from football, the record's behind you. It's been a big year, isn't it?
It has been a big year, Drew, yeah. Look, it certainly is different. It's just one of those things that I guess happens to all of us eventually, and Paul will second me on that one. But look, as much as you love the game and love playing footy and just being with your mates, there does come a time where, you know, it's time for the younger blokes to step up and take over.
The umpires today, David Howlett, the most experienced, number 1. Corin Rowe is number 12, and Troy Burton, number 33. So we'll have a Matthew Burton as a player, and there he is, and Troy Burton, the umpire.
It'll be interesting to see how big Spider Burton goes today. I watched the game last week we played against Richmond, played a pretty good role in that. His preparation in pre-season has been a little bit limited with a knee injury, and they certainly didn't expect to play him this much this early in the season, but up against, looks like Jason Ball's going into the middle of the ground, so that's a bit of a one out of left field there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Looks like Greg Stafford is going to take the centre half forward position on Mickey Martin, so that'll be an interesting tussle too. I don't know how long that'll last there, but that'll be interesting.
And there's Mick Martin down there on Stafford. Back on the ball, a former Eagle and a former Docker. They both changed clubs in the off-season, and now they face each other for Sydney and the Kangaroos. Burton and Ball.
And we do have Andrew Dunkley lining up on Wayne Carey. Looks like Calthorpe's lined up in the forward pocket, and Brad Seymour's picked him up. Another new player for the Kangaroos, David Calthorpe.
Burton, tallest player in the league, but the bounce-favoured ball, and he got the Swans going forward. King is there for the Kangaroos. That's beautifully read by Allison, playing against his old side. Played 219 games for the Kangaroos. Ball quickly poked upfield, but it was a poor kick, and straight to Archer, who marks back towards the back pocket. Kick by Glenn Archer. Up towards centre wing. Burton is there. Ball misses with a punch. Comes behind. Bomford. Intercepted by Bell. He's lost control of it. Matthews, number 36. Whistle's gone. It'll be a Peter Bell free kick. It was interfered with. And Bell will take it from centre wing. Up towards the 50. Well, nobody really in line there for the Kangaroos. Scholl had a bit of a slip. Dunkley takes the hand pass from Crouch. Bad bounce for Philandia. Simpson is there for the Roos. Philandia back in after it. Beats a tackle. Gets the hand pass back to Dunkley. Playing on Carey. Kicked by Dunkley. O'Loughlin. Beautiful spoil by Blakey, who's on 299 games at the start of this season. It comes away to the medalist Brent Harvey. who won it in the state game last year. The hand pass away. Durkay, centering ball. Carey is there. Double team him. Plenty of Kangaroos on the 50. Simpson busts the tackle. Slides the ball across. Shot here by Ryan Pagan, son of the coach. Carey nearly the mark. And it's gone through for a minor score.
And that's where Wayne Carey is so dangerous, guys. He's very, very good at running up the field and then doubling back and running into the goal square. Normally takes those marks, and if he doesn't, he kicks the ball off the ground for a goal. But in that case, the ball just ran through a bit too quickly for him.
Swans working the ball up the field. Matthews still back towards fullback. Big game this for both clubs. Both desperately want to win it because a win will set up just about a certain semi-final spot. Ball takes the mark.
Now, Jason Ball's actually taking the tap-out screw, and then he's moving to centre-half forward with Stafford going onto the ball.
Looks as though he might have dislocated a finger. He's wringing his hand behind the action. Blakey takes the mark for the Kangaroos. Gee, they've got some space out wide here. Up towards centre wing where Burton takes the mark. The kick from downfield came from Adam Lang. Burton to centre half forward. Carey.
There's a good example of Wayne Carey's strength there, Plugger. And he doesn't mind taking the position from behind also. Just nudges Andrew Dunkley out, and he's very, very good in that position.
Yeah, he's very, very good on the one-on-one duels. Typical of North Melbourne there, got a mark in defence, switched the play, moved the ball around the flank and then straight in to see where Wayne Carey was, and looks like he's put it straight through the middle for a goal.
Well, Wayne Carey kicked 3 goals last week and he gets the first goal of the game today.
Yeah, that's a very good illustration of the way the Kangaroos play. As soon as they get on the wing, they square it up into the middle of the ground to Wayne Carey at centre-half forward. If Carey doesn't mark, you'll see a lot of North Melbourne players running to the foot of the pack, but in that case he did take the mark and converted well.
Ryan O'Connor amongst the bench players. Robbie Armat closest to camera.
And young Jude Bolton there, who had a pretty good game last week against Richmond.
Back in the middle, and Ball takes a run at Burton. That's a high tackle. And the free kick comes to Ryan Pagan. Gives it off to Grant. Carey works the ball down to the Rovers, but actually Carey's opponent, Dunkley, takes the ball. Terrific pinpoint pass. Magnificent to Maxfield, and further to Lewis. Got players running past Dale Lewis. He's looking to go straight up the corridor. He kicked into the man on the mark. It was touched by King. It rebounds to Lang. Kicked by Lang. Well, he blazed away. He didn't aim the pass. And the mark's taken by Jared Crouch.
They had a bit of a problem with that last week a couple of times, Plugger kicking the man on the mark. Just got to get back quickly and give yourself plenty of room.
Yeah, there's no real excuse for that, I don't think, Paul. It's just a matter of concentration there. Louis should have just gone back another couple of yards. He had Nick Fosdyke loose in the pocket there too, was another option.
Pickett takes a free kick for a high tackle. Up towards half forward. Oh, juggled mark. Excellent mark. Is taken in defence by Seymour. On the defensive 50. Kangaroos 1-1. Swans yet to score. Bomford. Long to half forward. Allison in a sprint with a former teammate Pike, and the ball's out of play.
We've got some good matchups early in the game. Looks like Glenn Archer's picking up Adam Goods, and looks like Lee Colbert too, who played at centre-half back against Richmond last week. Looks like he's playing on the forward line, and Andrew Shawble's picked him up.
Boundary throw in. Decent crowd here at Manuka Oval. A redevelopment to take place after next week's game between the Swans and Richmond. They're spending about $9 million here. Going to encircle the ground with grandstands. It's already got the Jack Fingleton scoreboard from the MCG. Comes to Grant. Best on ground in the grand final last year. Has the kick smothered. O'Loughlin has a bit of a fumble. King's got it. Kick by King, half back to half forward, but Stafford marks. Could nearly have been 50 against Burton.
Greg Stafford playing a kick behind play, and it looks like Pagan's instructed Spider Burton to go and pick him up.
Well, you've got to kick over the man on the mark, but when the man on the mark is 210 centimetres, maybe that's the way to go. Go round him. Bomford. And centering it back to Philandia, not far from where it started. Over the top to Bomford. Height and distance in the kick. Taken off the pack by Brett Allison. This is what he's there for. First season with the Swans, and he scores against his old side.
Well, is that classic Brett Allison, Plugger, or what?
That's classic Brett Allison, all right. He read the play beautifully there. The ball was kicked up. Handball from Peter Philandia to Andrew Bomford. Kicked the ball long into the half-forward line there for the Sydney Swans. And he just roved it beautifully off the pack there. Took a bounce, run in, and just slammed a left footer straight through the middle.
Well, Brett Allison kicked the opening goal last week against the Brisbane Lions, and he's done it again, getting the Swans' first goal.
And that would be very encouraging to see that for Rodney Eade.
Point the difference, Kangaroos in front. Burton wins in the middle. Comes down to Pagan, hand pass back to Simpson. Bit of a block up just at the front edge of the centre square, and the umpire, I'm sure, will, holding the ball. Well, the player was on the ground and making an ineffective attempt to get it out, Peter Bell, and he's pinged him. Peter Bell not too happy with the decision.
Yeah, it's a tough rule, that one. That's the one they brought in this year, and I don't think it's going to last too long.
Matthews takes the free. Flips off the hands. Back to Pickett. Kick smothered. Been a few smothers already in the game. Beautifully played by Fosdyke. Short pass. Might have been fortunate. Ball marks low down. Back to Fosdyke. He bounces to 50. Fosdyke to the goal square and more. It had the distance, but through for a minor score.
Just interesting to see Adam Goods take the ruck work then, Drew. Looks like Jason Ball's moved back to the forward pocket, and Glenn Archer, it looks like, is picking him up.
Plenty of zinc cream on these boys here today. Looks like Warney and the boys over in Perth last weekend. David King kicks in. Straight up the centre. Magnificent kick for Archer. Pretty good spoil put on him by Lewis. Chance for the Swans. O'Loughlin clean bowled, and the ball out in the forward pocket.
Just goes to show you how important that punch is then by Dale Lewis. If he hadn't got his fist to the ball, then North Melbourne were away and running. So great effort then from Dale Lewis.
And the encouraging thing too, Plugger, he didn't actually go for the mark, did he? His first thought was just to spoil the ball straight down to Greg Stafford.
No, he knew he was in the wrong position. He'd done the correct thing.
Ball wins in ruck, but it comes to Bell. Ball and Bell. Away to Blakey, who finds touch on the outer side.
And Johnny Blakey, how good has he been, boys? At 299 games, plays his 300th game against the West Coast Eagles, I think Friday night of the first round. And his move from Fitzroy, my old team, to North Melbourne, he's won 2 premierships and been an absolutely outstanding player.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just does everything right, doesn't he?
He does.
Very cool and calm in any situation.
Doesn't take too many risks and play outside his ability.
O'Loughlin gets it back to Ball in the goal square. Matthews, a hand passer, was like lightning to Fosdyke, and he couldn't quite handle it.
Well, that was almost fantastic play then by Benny Matthews. No sooner had he got the ball than he delivered it, and just a little bit unlucky there not to get another goal, the Swans.
It looks like David King kicked out last time. It's Byron Pickett now. Swan zone looks pretty good. They're having a bit of trouble penetrating at this stage, the Kangaroos.
Pickett's kick. Swans making a real contest up in the air of it, just like the last kick in.
Well, I'd nearly pay that one a mark, Drew. I don't know what you thought, but I reckon that was nearly a mark, that one.
Maybe Saddington had the...
Yeah, I think he did get first grab.
Looks so much easier on the video, doesn't it?
Yeah. Don't get bruises too often up in the commentary box either. You'll learn that. It's a great spot to be. Wrestle at ground level. And umpire Howlett comes in. Swans free. Quickly taken by Crouch. Philandia. Goods with Archer. That'll be a great contest. Well done, O'Loughlin to Goods. Beautiful goal.
Well, that's a combination we saw in full flight last week. Michael O'Loughlin and Adam Goods. And I'll tell you what, the North Melbourne defenders didn't do a lot wrong there. As we see the ball come in, Glenn Archer was very good. Manned up on Adam Goods. Played him very close. Even John Blakey was pretty close to Mick O'Loughlin, but that's, I mean, you can't teach that sort of stuff, Plugger.
You cannot teach that. That is the play of a very sharp mind, Michael O'Loughlin. Fantastic.
Michael O'Loughlin, a brilliant palm down into the path of Adam Goods for a goal. So the Swans now lead by 6 points. And they're going all right against the Premiers. Matthews has been prominent early. Out to Bomford. Kick by Bomford to half forward. Ball with Martin. Jason Ball, the ex-West Coast Eagle. Kick to Lewis. What a climb at the back by Grant, but straight to Matthews. Going like a rocket, Matthews. Wide to Allison, who kicked a wonderful goal. Hand passes. In it comes to Fosdyke. He centres the ball. Just misses O'Brien. And the mark is taken by Harvey.
You'd have to put that down as an opportunity gone missing on that occasion, Paul.
Yeah, that was well read by Brent Harvey, though, getting in the dangerous area and just chopping off that kick.
Carey a long way from goal, not far forward of the centre wing. Kick by Carey, just inside centre half forward. Burton. Well, it's unfair when you're that high.
He didn't even move, did he?
I'd like to see that one again. Could you get a cigarette paper under his boot? Did he jump for that one? Well, here it comes again. Wayne Carey once again into that dangerous area inside 50. Did not move, stick the long arms up. What do you do about that?
There's not much you can do.
Well, Wayne Schwartz had just come off the bench and he was probably the closest. He would have needed a stepladder.
Yeah, good luck, Swatter.
Spider Burton, 40 metres from goal. Hooked it. Out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, if he continually pushes forward like that, Spider Burton, he could create a bit of a problem for the Sydney Swans.
Here he goes again. Another good mark. Flips the ball out to King. King to the edge of the goal square. Simpson is there. Getting back Seymour, the two number 7s, and the ball out of bounds.
Good option too then from Brad Seymour. He was crowded in by North Melbourne players, and his safest option then was to just paddle it around to the boundary line.
37 degrees and the big fans are out and the ice vest coming out for the Sydney Swans.
It'd want to be a big vest there for Ryan O'Connor too, Roosie, wouldn't it?
I think he's got 2 of them on, one on each arm.
They ever squeeze one around you?
They'd need a horse blanket, I reckon.
This will be a Swans free kick going back to the defensive 50-metre line.
Good to see Dale Lewis so involved too early on the game, Roosie.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out where he's playing, Plugger. It looks like he may be playing half forward, pushing into the midfield, but he's certainly doing a lot of running at this early stage.
O'Loughlin, mammoth kick for ball. Almost grabbed it. Mick Martin's there. End on end, back towards centre wing. Schwass, playing his first game of the season. Didn't go to Cairns last week, or didn't play. Takes the mark. Started the game on the bench. Replaced Belandia. Kick by Wayne Schwass. Up to the 50. And the ball knocked straight towards the boundary line by Lang.
And just on Mickey Martin too, he's been a fantastic player. There he is on screen. Did a terrific job on Matthew Richardson last week. Really cut him out of the game. And it's a good matchup. Jason Ball and Mickey Martin should be a good contest.
Boundary throw in. Well, Lee Colbert, former Geelong captain, takes clean possession and kicks up towards the wing, but out of bounds on the full.
And back in the forward line now, Glenn Archer's got another opponent. Ryan Fitzgerald, that must be opponent number 4 already.
Andrew Shawble, ex-Collingwood player, long towards full forward. It gets to the back. Lewis needed a one touch. Under pressure, taken towards the line and out of bounds.
It's interesting the tactics for the Kangaroos at the moment. You can't really pick it up on the screen, but there's no one inside the Kangaroos 50. Wayne Carey's pushed up into the back half. Lee Colbert's pushed up into the back half. And really, the closest one to the North Melbourne Kangaroos goal is Craig Scholl, who's standing in about the centre circle.
Martin, the hand pass. Pickett partly blocked. Grant under pressure. Swans putting on pressure on their forward line. Bell across the ground to King. And now they can move up towards the forward line. Talk about Pagan's paddock. It is a homestead. It's really half of the Northern Territory.
There's just no one for him to kick it to now.
Durkay in short. Mark taken by Harvey. Brent Harvey, brilliant last year in the state game. towards centre half forward. They've got there now. Good punch away by Shawble. Crouch gives chase. Harvey had followed up. How'd he get there? In he comes. Kick by Pike towards the goal square. Grant, ex-Swan himself, gets the ball back. Hewitt across the face of goal. And they have to give chase. Red and white get there first. Matthews. Good play by the Swans. O'Brien. Well, they almost spoiled each other, but Nix took the mark just in front of Schwass. Matthew Nix, right half back for the Swans. Swans 2 goals 2, the Kangaroos 1 goal 1. Huge leap. Unbelievable leap down there by Ryan Fitzgerald, but he couldn't come down with the mark. The ball was pulled in, rules the umpire. Umpire Corin Rowe, and it's a Kangaroos free kick.
And that occasion's very stiff, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, look, I think it's a pretty ordinary rule that the guy going for the footy should be given every opportunity.
Kick by Simpson to the 50. Harvey, and that'll be out of bounds for a throw-in.
There were some great efforts, firstly from Leo Barry and then also from Craig O'Brien. They're just determined to get the ball. As soon as it hit the ground, they were both onto it.
Chance for the Kangaroos here. Very well done. Out to Harvey. Wider to Simpson from near the boundary line. Top of the goal square. Pike. Pike still. Out he comes. Grant, a great snap.
Yeah, well done by Martin Pike. Contested the ball in the goal square. Ball went to ground. Didn't lose his feet. That's a key for a forward not going to ground. There we see the ball coming in by Simpson. Just watch Pike here. Brett Seymour goes to ground. Pike keeps his feet and a slick handball. And Shannon Grant, as we know, Plugger, is a very, very good finisher.
It certainly was a very good finisher.
Shannon Grant, who was in the swap with Wayne Schwass. 3 years at Sydney for 58 games. Came to the Kangaroos. Played in the Premiership and won the Norm Smith medal last year.
Finished the season off very well, isn't it, eh, with the Norm Smith medal.
Huge finish, wasn't it? Here's Schwass, All-Australian last year, a brilliant season. So actually both clubs did pretty well out of that deal, and that ball just gets over the line.
Yeah, it has been a good deal for both clubs. Wayne Schwass, as you said, winning the Best and Fairest at Sydney last year, had a fantastic season, and Shannon Grant winning the Norm Smith medal. So I think both clubs would be happy with that trade.
Burton, Stafford, comes to Schwass. He picks out Crouch. Kick by Crouch. Martin well placed. Gets it away from O'Connor. Off the ground goes for Landia. It's pretty willing in there. You can tell the stakes are high. Oh, well done, O'Brien. O'Connor! Well, he's on his knees. How do you rule that? A snap by Armat. A goal to Robbie Armat.
Well, Roosie, that's just a great effort from Ryan O'Connor. That's Ryan O'Connor's goal, that. The ball went to the ground. He fought and fought and fought about 3 times there. Finally won possession. Got the ball out.
Was he on his feet,
to
though?
Robbie Armat.
Was he on his feet when he played the ball, O'Connor?
No, he picked it up before he went to ground. So you're allowed to pick it up. If you fall to ground, you are allowed to do the handball. So it's only if you pick it up while you're on the ground.
Great effort, Ryan O'Connor.
Terrific game here at Monaco. Sydney 3-2, Kangaroos 2 goals 1. Palmed down by Burton when he got a clip over the shoulder. So somebody got up pretty high to get him over the shoulder. It was Stafford.
I'm really enjoying the contest down back too. Glenn Archer and Mickey Martin are weathering the storm very well down there. They're being run around by the forwards, but they're certainly playing particularly well at the moment.
Carey held or the mark? Free kick or mark to Wayne Carey.
Well, I'm not sure what that was for, Plugger.
I think the umpires called it for holding. We just see her on the replay. We can't really see too much there, but I reckon, yeah, it's a touchy one in mine. But anyway, we can't do nothing about it. He's got the ball, and he's well within kicking distance.
Yeah, Andrew Dunkley having plenty to say to the umpire. Carey for his second. No doubt.
It's really a contentious one, that one, Plugger. Being a forward yourself and me being an ex-defender, really, I guess the thing is, who instigates the contact? Is it the forward or is it normally the defender? In that case, Wayne Carey got the benefit of the doubt and kicked the goal. But you being a forward would say the defender does, and me being a defender would say the forward does.
I'd have to disagree. I reckon the back always start that sort of stuff. But it was a little bit close, that one, I thought. Very lucky.
Absolutely nothing in it. Well, there is something in it. 1 point. Swans lead. Carey, free kick goal. He's kicked a couple. Oh, Maxfield very quick to Schwass. On the bounce to Armat. Robbie Armat had his legs taken from under him. Hurried kick by Simpson. Burton. Come on, Spider. He's pinned a great tackle. Magnificent tackle.
Yeah, it's just a little bit unlucky there, Spider. The ball bounced over his head. I don't know how a football can get over his head, but it did. And certainly that's not his go on the ground.
And now the ball at ground level. Players from both sides appealing for a free kick here. Now let's have a look at this one in the middle with Spider Burton.
Yeah, look, I think if Wayne Carey was a bit lucky, I think Spider Burton was a little bit unlucky there. He didn't have a lot of time to get rid of the footy.
Jude Bolton just on the ground laying a magnificent tackle. That was David and Goliath. Oh, here's a Swans free kick inside the 50. I'm not sure what that signal was. Don't think I've seen that before from umpire Corin Rowe. And Ryan O'Connor will line up for goal. Now, can he kick this, boys?
Well, these are the goals he's got to kick, Plugger, I think.
Yeah, these are the ones that are very important. You know, like he's going to be kicking from 50 metres here, so yeah, it's going to test him, but I certainly wouldn't put it past him.
He's got the distance, but he had to hook it to get that distance.
Yeah, just straining for that extra distance, and it went off to the left there.
Just faded off to the left there, but still a pretty good effort.
And if he's going to play up forward, Plugger, he really does need to take his opportunities. He doesn't get a lot of the football, Ryan O'Connor, so when he does, he really needs to kick those goals.
Yep, he's really got to make sure that you know, that he puts them home.
Kick by Byron Pickett, virtually straight to Maxfield. Took a little while to grab hold of it. Lost control, out of bounds.
Wayne Carey's had a pretty good start too, hasn't he? Kicked 2 goals already. He's looking very dangerous and just an unbelievable player, Wayne Carey.
Well, look at the height that Dunkley is giving to him.
Well, that's why I think Drew's really got to stand off him a bit and give himself a leap. And as I said earlier, before the game started, you just can't afford to body on Wayne Carey. He's too big and too strong.
And one thing's for certain, Andrew Dunkley certainly won't give up any contest, though, so it'll go right to the final bell as far as them two are concerned.
O'Connor with Martin, a couple of rough heads there. Ball towards the line. Archer leads the race. Here comes Armat, putting Archer under pressure. Well done, Robbie Armat.
A couple of rough heads there. I'm glad you said that, Drew, not me.
It was one of my great moments of footy when O'Connor was playing for Essendon and he lined you up and the eyeballs met, you and Plugger and Rhino. It was unbelievable. I could feel the earth shake. Archer paddles out to Bell. Archer quick by hand. Martin. Barry did well. Lewis. 1 out contest here, but it's got the carry and goes through for a minor score.
And you saw Ryan Fitzgerald came over the back in that boundary throw-in, but didn't make contact. If a third man is going to do that, he's really got to make contact and hit it towards the goal square.
King kicks in to Blakey. Better kick in than the last time. Now they're off and running. Bell, pinpoint to Grant. Foot skills terrific for this stage of the season. Kick by Shannon Grant. Carey and Dunkley. Carey sandwich. Saddington came in to help. Comes to Crouch. Good punch by Martin. Barry farming the ball out, but only as far as Harvey for the opposition. Grabbed by McPherson. Armat. Great kick by Armat to O'Brien. A mile in the clear, Craig O'Brien. And a goal.
Well, that's great vision from Robbie Armat there. He was in a bit of traffic, got clear, seen Craig O'Brien about 30 metres into the forward pocket there, put a lovely pass out towards him, and Craig O'Brien, he doesn't miss many, Roosie, does he?
Look, I don't know whether you can pick it up here, Plugger, on the screen, but 5 North Melbourne players went back towards the goal there, and Craig O'Brien was out on the right wing, right half forward, and Robbie Armat, fantastic vision, and Craig O'Brien is a very good finisher.
Well, you rarely see a player get that far in the clear on the forward line. He was an absolute mile in the clear, Craig O'Brien. Had time to settle, kick the goal. 4-4 to 3 goals won. And once again, the Swans are spreading them. 4 different goal kickers. Schwass, O'Connor. Good mark.
Fantastic pass in by Wayne Schwass. On the wrong foot, kicked it with his right foot, and just kicked it right out in front of Ryan O'Connor. And he took a lovely mark. And he's not too different from the position he held here before, Roosie. So it'll be interesting. This one is very important, and it'll be lovely to see him put this one through.
It'll be interesting to see if he actually lays this one off, if there's a leading Swans player up forward, because he did struggle for distance on the last one.
I reckon he'll kick it.
51 out.
Well, he kicked it out of bounds on the full.
And I'm not going to say any more about that.
Well, the previous one he hooked it to get the distance, and that one he sliced it.
At least he's getting the ball, though, so you know, that certainly is a positive for him. He's worked very, very hard there in the forward line, and I thought he's been very good.
Well, I must admit I didn't hear the siren for a quarter time, but the siren has gone, and it's a 9-point lead to the Sydney Swans. And once again, they've been spreading it around. Goals to O'Brien, Armat, Allison and Goods, and so that would be encouraging. And I must confess that the Swans' form in the 5 quarters I've seen them play so far has been absolutely terrific.
Been very encouraging. The skill level's been terrific, hasn't it? And look, they've had a few opportunities that they've just let go missing, but I still reckon you know, they're going very well, and they'd be very happy with that first quarter.
So the quarter-time score at Manuka Oval. Sydney 4-4, Roos 3-1, a 9-point lead to the Swans. Manuka Oval, the home of the Canberra Comets in one-day domestic cricket. And today it is Sydney and the Kangaroos. And in the background, the old scoreboard from the MCG came up here after the electronic scoreboard went in. And the Swans, ultra impressive, 4-4-28 at quarter time, leading last year's day premiers, the Kangaroos, 3-1-19. And welcome back to Manuka Oval for the Ansett Australia Cup 2000, round 2 game between the Sydney Swans and the Kangaroos. And the Kangaroos off a premiership win last year. Got the job ahead at the moment, the Swans leading by 9 points.
Looks like Glenn Archer started this quarter up forward too, in the forward pocket. And Wayne Carey looks like he's moved to full forward.
Jason Ball in the ruck. And this time he'll be confronting Evan Hewitt, the young West Australian, who's played just 24 games, only 4 last year. There's no Corey McKernan and no Matty Capuano today for the Kangaroos. Ball goes up. Hewitt did all right, but he knocked it down to the Swans. Schwass hand pass intercepted. It was going to be a free kick. Abraham gets the kick to full forward. Carey knocks it inboard, but there's nobody there. Archer's gone with him to the forward line. Shawville did well to bounce off. Lewis. Kick by Dale Lewis. Wide to Ball. Good mark.
Particularly well done by Andrew Shawville down back. You called it, Drew. He bounced off that tackle, and he's really set up the play.
Towards half forward, Fosdyke can't take the mark. It comes to the front. Bomford a long kick to the edge of the square. Allison waits behind Pike. Martin, bit slow. Lewis has got it. Pushed down, free kick to Lewis.
Did he take a dive there, Plugger? Dale Lewis, one of the great actors of all time.
Yeah, I know. I think that was a legitimate free kick, and won't he love this? Loves kicking a goal, Dale Lewis.
We look at it again. Yeah, maybe a little bit higher, but gee, I think the Kangaroos player there, I'm not too sure it was, Adam Simpson, I think, was very, very unlucky.
So Dale Lewis to extend the Swans' lead. He kicks truly.
Another player who's certainly got himself in the play at this early part of the game is Andrew Bomford, Rosie. He's been everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah, Andrew Bomford, New South Welshman too. He grew up, I think, in the Pennant Hills area. And he's been very prominent. Got that ball down into the forward line. And as we see Louis here again, gee, would you have played it, Plugger?
Well, he might have helped himself onto the ground there, I think.
Five for the Swans to 3 goals won. Important first goal of this second term. Hewitt beats Ball now in the middle. Bell gets the hand pass out. A few ex-West Australians there. Goes to Simpson in the direction of Carey. Oh, what a mark. Under physical pressure.
Yeah, just another illustration of the fantastic strength. I mean, Andrew Dunkley's a very strong player, but he just bounced off Wayne Carey there.
Archer couldn't quite take the mark. Simpson barreled in a great tackle. By gee, Jude Bolton can tackle. Ball spills away to Durkee. Carey again. Oh!
Fantastic.
Had no right to take it.
Yeah, look, Dunks was in the right position there. He was in front position. But as I said, Wayne Carey doesn't mind playing from behind. Here we go. Got the sit on him. Jumped over the top of him. Not a lot Andrew Dunkley could do there. And it was just another great mark from Wayne Carey, who's in fantastic form at this early stage of the season.
The All-Australian captain, most people's vote as the top player in the competition. Right in front, 35 metres out, gets his third.
As we said earlier on, Drew, it doesn't matter whether it's a practice match or an Ansett Cup game or a home and away season, Wayne Carey is just unbelievable, isn't he?
And this is a good illustration of why Carey's such a hard player to play against. We saw the contest before where Dunks went from behind, tried to spoil Carey, outmarked him. Then Dunks got in front and he still outmarked him over the top. So he's a very difficult player to match up on.
Dennis Pagan will be slightly happier now that Carey's kicked his third, but the margin still 9 points in favour of the Swans. Top exhibition of Australian football going on here at the Australian capital. Ball against Hewitt, and Hewitt beats him. Palm down to Schwass. That was Nix. Kicked by Schwass around the corner. Wide for O'Loughlin. Gets a shocking bounce. Blakey takes it over.
Mickey's been pretty quiet today, Plug. I think Johnny Blakey, you'd say, had the better of that duel, and we mentioned Johnny Blakey earlier in the day. Just does the percentage things. Once again, we saw the ball bounced over Mickey's head. Johnny just took it over the boundary line. Nothing fancy, always doing the percentage things.
Yeah, always cool and calm. And look, Mickey O'Loughlin's a great player, but certainly got his work cut out on John Blakey today. It should be a great duel for the rest of the afternoon.
Matt loses control of it. Pike clears towards the centre wing. There's a push out and a Kangaroos free kick. It'll come back to, well, the advantage goes on. It was going to be Hewitt's. Carey's got it again. He goes to full forward. Archer! And a terrific mark taken, whipping back in defence by Kirk.
Yeah, that was very good, Brett Kirk. He ran from the centre of the ground then to fill in the space in front of Glenn Archer and took a very courageous mark.
Bolton, poor old kick. Kicked the back end of the ball and had a bit of a tumble on it. Simpson's hand pass. Back to Lang. Hewitt goes backwards. That's poor play. That's grabbed by Bomford. That could be a goal. Hewitt conceding ground and possession and concedes a goal.
Well, there's Andrew Bomford. We talked about him just a little bit earlier on. And Drew, I think you called it pretty well there.
Well, if you're going to hand pass backwards, it's got to be to a teammate.
Yeah, just conceded ground. And that's where the turnovers really do hurt you in the modern football. Straight to Andrew Bomford. And Bomber, he'd be very happy with that finish too. Just inside 50. And a pretty crucial goal for the Sydney Swans.
Well, the Swans' run continues. 6 goals, 6 goal kickers. Hewitt. He'd be gritting his teeth this centre bounce after that blue. Simpson, a bit of a fumble. Bomford again. He's been outstanding. Bolton. Swans just bumbling the ball forward. Simpson goes back. This time the backward hand pass is okay. Lang gets it away to Durkee. Gary Durkee going for a run down the outer wing. Colbert hasn't been sighted yet. Ball punched away by Shawble. Here's Lee Colbert, number 2. Crunched by Dunkley. Gets the hand pass away pretty well to Harvey. Harvey with toe from the forward pocket. That was brilliant speed. And, oh, a good kick just missed.
He is a great goal kicking forward, Brent Harvey. And he's certainly got a lot of pace. Ran away from Brad Seymour, I think it was then. Probably could have kicked the goal, but there was Andrew Dunkley. He ran away from. Possibly could have kicked the goal, Plugger, but it was a bit of a tough angle there.
It was a tough angle, but he's got some explosive pace, hasn't he? Got himself into a pretty good position there. Just a little unfortunate not to finish the good work off.
Nix kicks in. Ball gets there late. It's all the Kangaroos. Here's Wayne Carey back at centre wing now. Into Hewitt. Oh, he's gone! Red hot up fire. It spills to the Swans. They're off and running. Saddington to O'Loughlin. Back in midfield. The kick out wide. Looked pretty ugly from Leo Barry, but it might be all right from the team's point of view. Saddington, who started it. Lachlan class. Oh, this is brilliant by the Swans. And Wayne Schwass has it now, about 35 out.
Good vision once again from Robbie Armat. Made position in the pocket, centred the ball, and found Wayne Schwass about 35 metres directly straight in front. He's since passed it on and found, once again, Andrew Bomford. Isn't he having a blinder?
Well, he'd be leading the possessions on the ground. I reckon he's brought his own footage.
He has had a terrific day. Just on that, Wayne Schwass did have a mark. He was about the same distance out as Bomber. Laid it off to Andrew Bomford, and he's kicked the goal. Yeah, good finish from Andrew Bomford. That's goal number 2.
Just great play by the Swans. I mean, in midfield, the pressure was put on. Carey kicked the ball to a man who was under pressure, and it was Dale Lewis who turned the ball over. And whether it's back or forward or in midfield, the Swans are putting the pressure on and winning the pill.
And that's what can happen, just a quick turnover like that. The ball moves quickly into the forward line, and another goal results.
Ryan O'Connor has gone to Wayne Carey now.
Yeah, now the danger for Ryan O'Connor going back there, he is a physical player, Ryan O'Connor, but I still think if he tries to body Wayne Carey, Carey will still have the advantage. So Ryan's got to give himself a couple of paces and take a jump at the football.
Ball against Hewitt. Hewitt can certainly jump all right. Harvey. Grant. Clash of bodies with Barry. Lang gets the hand pass away to Durkay. Good vision. Shannon Grant to Carey. And interference by O'Connor. He's given away the free. Holding him by the jumper before the ball arrived.
Yeah, as we see the ball coming in, gee whiz.
Yeah, well, I can't see too much holding going on there. It might have happened before we got the video there, but yeah, I reckon he's a bit unlucky there. Anyway, we can't do nothing about it. Wayne Carey's got another kick for goal, lining up for his 4th from about 30 metres out directly in front. And he doesn't usually miss these, Rosie, does he?
He won't miss it. Will not miss it.
So that's goal number 4 for Wayne Carey. And they might be in a little bit of trouble if it wasn't for Wayne Carey. He's kicked 4 of their 5 goals.
And Carey really, he's named at centre-half forward, but Plugger, he basically plays that role between full forward and centre-half forward. He doesn't really play as a true centre-half forward or a true full forward. We see him take a lot of marks in this area of the ground.
And not only is it between full forward and centre forward, Paul, he pushes up the ground. He quite often finds himself in defence.
Well, looks like now Carey's moved out to centre forward, and I'd say the role for him now would be to run Ryan O'Connor around.
Stafford now on the ball for the Swans, gets it down to Lewis. Oh, terrific mark by Pickett.
Pickett does that terrifically well. He's prepared to leave his opponent and back his own judgment. Takes a lot of marks that way.
Stafford puts the spoil on Hewitt. Comes to Bell, out of bounds. 14 points the margin. And
we see him here, leaves his opponent in Robbie Armat, goes to the contest and takes a great mark. Now, in that case, Drew, you really need to take the mark. If he doesn't take the mark, Robbie Armat becomes dangerous and a possible goal kicker, but he did take a very strong mark.
Stafford's done well in the ruck since he went onto the ball just in the last minute. Free kick given away here by Lewis to Harvey. Kick by Harvey, up over centre wing where Simpson marks. In the direction of Archer. Tries to get away from Seymour. The Swans standing up everywhere, on the back line, on the forward line. That's a job to the shins. Stafford delivered one to Hewitt, and Hewitt will take the free kick. Sorry, it's Lee Colbert. Has not been sighted, Colbert. He's had 1 kick so far, and that went out of bounds. That's his 2nd kick. That was pretty ordinary. Comes to Maxfield. Great kick by Maxfield. McPherson. Bit of pressure on Lee Colbert to perform after they gave away players and draft picks. Robbie Armat will kick a goal. He gives it off. Leo Barry will get it.
And well done, Swans there, Rosie. Play set up there by Daniel McPherson. Centred the ball. And what a pick-up by Robbie Armat off the pack, eh? Fantastic.
Yeah, I hope we see that again on the replay, Plugger. That was unbelievable.
Here we see McPherson. Runs around from man the mark on the wing.
Just watch Robbie Ahmed at full tilt. He's running full pace, and that is very, very hard to do. Takes the ball in full stride, makes an excellent decision to handball to Leo Barry, who kicks a very, very easy goal. But Robbie Ahmed, that absolutely amazing play, that.
What about the contest between Pickett and Ahmed? Pickett takes a terrific mark, an All-Australian, then Ahmed runs him ragged to set up a goal. Fantastic to watch. Ball comes down to Harvey. Standing start kick deep inside the 50. Archer from the back. Couldn't mark. O'Connor to Seymour. Kick by Seymour towards the outer side. Here's Bomford again. What a game he's played. Started with the Swans, went to Essendon, now back to Sydney. Kick by Bomford. Pike gets a couple of touches, no mark. Lang goes down the line. Here's Shane Clayton, who played every game last year. Colbert gets a rare touch, gets the hand pass away. Might have been tackled high. Advantage comes to the Kangaroos. Abraham to Carey. He's got another one. 5 goals.
Just on Lee Colbert, Drew, it is a different style of play that the Kangaroos do play that he's probably used to at Geelong playing on the forward line. They do kick the ball in long and high and direct, as we've seen with Wayne Carey kicking 5 goals. And it may take a little time for Lee Colbert just to adjust to that system. Once again, we do see that long bomb kick into centre-half forward, full forward position. Carey one out, again, too strong for his opponent. Kicks the goal, but I think it'll take a little bit of time for Lee Colbert just to adjust to the new system the Kangaroos do play.
Ryan O'Connor better watch himself. Pushing Carey down after the goal had been kicked. Sometimes you get a double kick for goal. Well, the Kangaroos have kicked 6 goals too, and Carey has kicked 5 straight. So just as well he turned up. Stafford wins in the middle.
Fantastic by Brett Kirk there, just to slip the ball out of his hand.
Armat, leads coming from everywhere. Armat goes long. Well, there's no one there. Pike gets back to mark.
Yeah, just a bad decision from Robbie Ahmed then. There was no one back there. Probably should have just held on to the ball a little bit longer and waited for a couple of leading targets and then made a better decision.
Blakey to King. Schwass gets back there for the Swans. Swans look full of running despite their game in the heat last week in Cairns. Here's Colbert dropping a mark. It spills to Winston Abraham. Back he goes with the hand pass. Hurriedly up the ground from Clayton to Simpson. Archer, bad bounce. Grant runs onto it and should kick a goal. Oh, he hit the post.
I'm not too sure he's playing on Shannon Grant there, Plugger, but he certainly just wandered down the wing there, completely unchecked, ran about 50 metres and just strolled onto the football and definitely should have made a better fist of that.
Might have just taken that a little bit casual, I think, Roosie, and he's paid the price, he's hit the post. But I'm sure he'll come back. He's a great player, Shannon Grant.
He probably could have taken a couple of bounces and just ran into an open goal.
He could have really, I think, ran around and got onto his left foot, his natural preferred foot.
Stafford taking a long time to get up after this marking contest.
I think that's that new rule again, Drew, is it? Free kick to Nick Fosdyke.
To the 50, and that's a very good mark to Fitzgerald. Well, we haven't seen anything of this boy. Number 4 in the 98 draft from Adelaide, and let's hope he has an injury-free season. Got height, athleticism, looks good, Rizzy.
Yeah, he is, and that's a good illustration of what he can do. He's got a very good leap on him, but unfortunately he just loses himself a little bit in the air and gets a little bit out of control. He tries to jump too high in the air. That's a good long kick, but off to the side. Plugger, I think he should have made a better fist of that, probably waiting for a leading target. He was about 60 metres outside his distance. And I don't think Rodney Eade, the coach, would be too happy with that decision.
No, I think it was a wrong decision there. I really do think deep down that he knew he was probably just a little bit too far out, and I think he was just hoping for that kick.
Blakey marks on the defensive 50. Gee, they've moved the ball well, the Kangaroos. Already to centre wing, but Nix leads in the race. Durkay with him.
Yeah, smart play by Matthew Nix. Didn't have any options, just ran the ball over the boundary line. And that's the right thing to do for a defender. Don't want to take any risks and bring it back inside and let the opposition score.
14-point lead to the Sydney Swans over the reigning premiers. Archer. Out to Carey. You can't stop this man. He is a freak.
That's just an outstanding kick for Glenn Archer. He gathered the ball at the boundary throw in there, and you could see the vision was absolutely amazing. Rather than kicking the ball straight down the line, watch it here. Instead of kicking the ball straight down the line, here he picks it up here. He makes a conscious effort to square it up in front of Wayne Carey, who leads onto it and takes an easy mark, and kicks goal number 6.
4 in this quarter, 6 for the game.
And do you think, Roosie, that is, like that gap is on purposely left open for Wayne Carey to run back into like that?
Yeah, look, there's no question. They do open up the forward line. And what you need to do now, the Sydney Swans, other defenders, need to peel off their opponents and really help out Ryan O'Connor, because it's obvious he's just too big and too strong for him at the moment.
You wonder what happens if you're Glenn Archer in that situation and you don't square the ball off to the captain.
Yeah, it was a good decision by Glenn Archer. He could have had a ping at goal or could have kicked it straight back down the line, but he did square it up in front of a leading Wayne Carey, who kicked goal number 6.
Bolton, he'll be a top player of the future. There's Fitzgerald, he missed last year with a shoulder injury. Ball punched out by Durkay. Schwass hits it pretty hard. David King after it hard. Eventually Rawlings. Goods is there, and Colbert, and the ball out of play. There's Lee Colbert, and they gave up a premiership player, Cameron Mooney, who went to Geelong, plus 2 draft picks to get Lee Colbert, who in his year as captain of Geelong didn't play a game, knee injury.
One of the most frustrating things about playing against the Kangaroos is you can keep their other forwards quiet, and Wayne Carey kicks 6 and just keeps them in the game, so it can tend to be a bit frustrating.
Seymour working the ball back to Matthews, out of bounds.
You wonder whether Dennis Pagan might just think to play Lee Colbert on the ball for maybe 15 minutes or a quarter plugger, just to get him into the play.
I think that'd be a great idea, Roosie. He just looks like he's a bit like a fish out of water at the moment. He just seems to be just a little bit lost, you know. And look, I'm sure it'll come back to him. He's missed a lot of footy. We've just seen North Melbourne kick another great goal there.
Shane Clayton. And that is not a Clayton's goal. It's a fair income goal.
Just a great little snap there over the shoulder from about 40 metres. What a terrific effort that was.
Yeah, we see the ruck contest. When it goes over the back, there's a good effort by Winston Abraham just to get a quick handball out and a good quick kick. It's very difficult to get the ball from hand to foot so quickly and keep it so accurate. And it was a good finish and a good goal.
Rawlings, the goal kicker.
Great goal too from
I've given it to Shane Clayton. Could have been Rawlings, actually.
I think it was Brady Rawlings. He's from Tasmania.
Yeah.
Played 13 games last year and looks a pretty talented youngster.
Well, the Kangaroos are back in this. They trail by just 2 points. Thank goodness for Wayne Carey, who's kicked 6 of their 8 goals.
We've got Andrew Dunkley back onto Wayne Carey now too, Drew.
Schwass fighting hard for the ball.
Look, there's not a lot you can do at the moment, Plugger. As you said, they are giving him a lot of space down there, and I'd really like to see that Brad Seymours and Andrew Shaw was probably maybe coming off their opponents a bit more and getting over and helping, being that third man in and spoiling away from Carey.
Schwass gave away the free in midfield for pushing Ryan Pagan's face into the cricket pitch. Comes to King. Oh, long kick to the goal square. That's nearly there. Oh, touched right on the line. No, it is a goal. David King from nowhere.
Yeah, it did look like it was going to be touched on the line, didn't it? Once again, I think Carey, here we see Brett Kirk just gets a quick handball out. David King is a very good long kick, but watch Carey come across the back of the pack here. Looks like he just disrupted the Sydney Swans defenders there, who may have been able to spoil it. And it went through for a goal. Great goal from David King.
And the Kangaroos in front now, after the Swans had led by 20 points. And the Kangaroos starting to find goal kickers other than Wayne Carey. Pagan gets it out of the middle. That's Ryan Pagan, the coach's son. King. Brady Rawlings getting a goal just a minute before David King, so they've kicked 2 in a minute. Hurriedly by Simpson. Stafford clears for the Swans. The ball out of bounds. Swans at the interchange gate on centre wing.
Interesting, Drew, at that last centre bounce, Greg Stafford, who's the ruckman. Here we see the hit. Stewie Maxfield comes in. That's a pretty fair bump, that. But that last centre bounce, Greg Stafford started centre half back in front of Wayne Carey. So they're very, very conscious up there in the coach's box, and they've done something to combat Wayne Carey's influence.
Kick by Ball up the forward line. Philandia into O'Loughlin. Oh, Michael. And Ahmad, hasn't he got some toe? Robbie Ahmad. Ball knocked down by his opponent. Or Durkay knocked it down. Now it's Pickett. And actually Pickett takes a solid knock from Bomford. Goes to McPherson. Ball bouncing up towards the goal square. Gary Durkay gets back to cover. Towards the outer side. Outside the 50 for Clayton. Breaks the tackle. Here's a chance for the Swans. Nix, Maxfield. Beautiful pass. Fosdyke.
Pretty fast and furious couple of minutes of play there. The ball going into the Sydney Swans forward line, bouncing back out. Then coming to Stewie Maxfield, who makes a good decision here and finishes off well to Nick Fosdyke. He takes a diving slips catch, a la Mark Waugh there.
Very, very important for Nick Fosdyke to take his time here, go back and make sure he nails this one.
Yeah, the momentum has really swung the Kangaroos' way. It is a very important kick for the Sydney Swans.
Fosdyke misses to the right-hand side.
And they can be crucial misses, can't they, Plugger? As we've seen, the momentum has swung the Kangaroos' way. They really needed to go back there, Nick Fosdyke, steady, kick a goal, just to stem a little bit of the flow that's going the Kangaroos' way.
Yeah, look, that was probably the most important goal of the day so far. As you said, North Melbourne just seemed to have turned the tables a little bit in the last 7 or 8 minutes. The Swans definitely need to get a score on the board and get themselves up again and back into the game.
Clayton, beautiful delivery. Out wide he comes to Abraham. Winston goes long. There's a bit of trouble in the goal square. Colbert is there. Didn't lay a mitt on it, and the ball through for a minor score from Abraham.
Just interesting to see there. If that had been Wayne Carey that had his opponent Adam Goods under the ball, then it'd be interesting to see what would have happened. We know that the North Melbourne player,
Lee Colbert
is just a little bit out of touch, a little bit out of sorts at the moment.
Yeah, you watch it there, and it's a good call, Plugger. He just seemed to want to body up too early, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he just looks like he needs a run. He's been out with a knee reconstruction.
He just wasn't sure what to do then, you know, and you see a player like Carey that's got all the confidence in the world at the moment. He really got that for sure.
I'm sure Wayne Carey had confidence when he was about 2 days old. It's hard to imagine he ever didn't have it. There's a long kick towards the goal square, and the mark right on the line to Pickett, and nearly 50 against O'Connor.
Just young Nick Fosdyke just kicking blind then. The lead was on from Robbie Ahmad, and he knew he was too far out. He was too far out of his ground then. Should have went for the lead option, instead chose to kick long, found the North Melbourne player unmarked back in the goal square.
Ahmad going well, beautiful pass to O'Connor.
Yeah, and there's a terrific example of what you just talked about there, Plugger. Rather than Robbie Ahmad blindly kicking it long to the goal square, he had the presence of mind to steady, kick on the left foot to Ryan O'Connor, and the difference is now we're seeing Ryan O'Connor have a shot for goal.
Now let's just hope that Ryan O'Connor can nail this one for the Swans. They certainly need a score here. They need a goal here, just for a bit of confidence.
O'Connor across the front of goal and out of bounds, so he's had 3 set shots for goal for 1 point.
Yeah, that's a shocking result.
You wouldn't want to be in earshot of Rodney Eade at the moment, would you?
Well, we could probably hear him up here.
Well, the margin's 4 points, and the Swans have had about 3 chances in the last 2 minutes to hit the front and have failed to do so. Gee, Archer, did he leg a player there? Ball, the hand pass. Nix, McPherson. Daniel McPherson from a standing start. O'Connor and Martin. Oh, well done, Ryan O'Connor to Fosdyke. Hoisted up high.
And once again, we just see that blind kick into the forward line, not really giving the forwards much of an option there.
Yeah, Robbie Ahmad was definitely in position. The kick had been shorter to a lead. He was very, very dangerous there.
That might have been young Nick Fosdyke again, wasn't it?
It was indeed. It was turned over in the middle by Kirk, but now Goods has it for the Swans. Up to Philandia. Yes, Fosdyke has blazed away a couple of times, and his shots for goal have resulted in just 2 behinds.
And that's just a little bit of inexperience, Drew. I mean, that'll come. The more football he plays, he'll be able to make smarter decisions with the ball.
Robert Scott has the ball jolted out by Barry. King close to the boundary line. And the forwards putting on pressure, making King bumble that ball along the line. And out.
The Swans have certainly had the same amount of play as what North Melbourne have. It just seems that the last 10 minutes that North Melbourne have just taken a little bit more control of this match.
I think they've just made better use of the ball, haven't they?
Yeah.
Very direct to Wayne Carey, and he's been one out the majority of the time.
Kangaroos have kicked 6-3 to 4-2 in this quarter, and of the 6-3, Carey has kicked 4 straight. Bomford, what a game he's playing. To Lewis.
That's better. Well, that was young Nick Fosdyke again, who got the handball off to Andrew Bomford. And once again, he probably would have been a little bit too far out then. Seen the lead from Dale Lewis and just popped it out in front of him. And let's hope for the sake of the Sydney Swans that Dale Lewis, now with another opportunity, can go back and put this one through for a 6-pointer.
Another chance for the Swans to hit the lead, and another chance squandered. Mark, in the field of play.
Well, that's a great mark from Andrew Dunkley, but not a noted goal kicker.
And I think that's the siren too.
So he's going to have a shot after the siren plugger. I'll have $5 with you, but he'll kick a goal.
What odds is he, though? You'll
take the bet here?
He's 100 to 1. He's 100 to 1.
100 to 1, $5.
My shout for two if he nails this.
Good view of this. Andrew Dunkley, usually on the back line, rarely kicks for goal, and what a shot after the siren to put the Swans in front. Oh, banana kick on the left foot, banana kick.
Oh, I thought it was through.
Just missed it. It wasn't a bad effort by Andrew Dunkley, and he's got a grin from ear to ear and a pat on the back there from Johnny Blakey. And didn't the Swans have some chances in the last 5 minutes, but they trail by 3 points at half-time. Let's have a look again.
Let's see it again. Left. I didn't know he had that club in the bag, Plugger, the left foot banana kick.
Absolutely. He's a natural right footer. He's pulled a left foot banana kick from the boundary. He never ceases to amaze me. Lucky he never nailed it, because we're off to Lone Star, mate.
Oh, well, Wayne Carey has kept the Kangaroos in this game. He kicked 4 goals in that term, 6 for the half, and the Roos lead 9-4 to 8-7 at half-time. Opening bounce to start the second half, and Spider Burton in ruck for the Kangaroos, but his opponent Jason Ball wins the first kick. Almost a courageous Mark King. It spills to Harvey. Brent Harvey breaks the tackle of Schwass. Awkward half volley taken by Hewitt. Hand pass, not all that great. Pagan ducks Lewis into King. Great kick. Archer. Oh, what a spoil.
Terrific effort from Andrew Shawville. Just came in from the side there. And he's had a pretty steady game again today, Plugger. As you can see, came in from the side, had to get the football because Archer had the sit and punched it over the boundary line.
Very important that a backman can do that, and he, throughout the year, I'm sure, will give Andrew Dunkley great help and great service down there in the back line.
Ball knocked towards the boundary line for another throw-in. Yeah, we might see that Shawville hasn't had all that many possessions, but it's things like that that stop goals, and that's what he's there for.
Yeah, very effective.
Yeah, I think generally the Swans backmen have done pretty well. It's really been Carey that's cut loose with 6 goals, and I think it's been pretty much the same down the other end. The North Melbourne defenders, Johnny Blakey on Mickey O'Loughlin's kept him pretty quiet as well.
Here's Carey in the ruck, all over Dunkley. A little hand pass in there was very good, and the Swans are out of trouble. Maxfield. O'Loughlin. Just to the left of the centre circle. Michael O'Loughlin, a raking drop punt. Leo Berry! And the man in front, Adam Goods, almost took a ripper. And he's been free kicked. Umpire Howlett. What happened there for a free kick?
I think it was a free kick on Leo Barry. We saw him come in from behind, jumped a little bit early and got on the back of his opponent. So it was definitely not a free kick against Adam Goods.
Hewitt down the line towards half forward. Carey is there. If he can't mark it, he tries to work one of his smaller players into it. Now here's the free kick. Leo Barry taking the big leap, and Adam Goods from the front.
Yeah, it's got to be a free kick against Leo Barry. I think just jumped a little bit early there, Plugger.
Yeah, definitely a free kick in that instance.
Fosdyke. Pickett punches. Fosdyke again. O'Loughlin always seems to have so much time. Lewis measures off the pass. Allison. Brett Allison kicked the first goal today for Sydney against his old club. Centres the ball, didn't quite reach O'Connor. And the man in front took the mark, Lee Colbert. who needs to work into the game in this second half.
Didn't seem to be too many forwards there making too good an option then for Allison, was there?
No, there wasn't many leading forwards, and Colbert looks like he's gone to the back half, having played the forward inside the forward 50 for most of the first half.
Beautiful build, Lee Colbert, but surely you would come back after a knee reconstruction just lacking confidence, and that's how he looked in the first half. Saddington under pressure, good pick up by Nix. Now Crouch. Archer taken to the line. That was a pretty good effort by Crouch. He's fighting out of his division there.
Yeah, it's a good tackle, and Jared Crouch is a very good tackler. I think he led the Sydney Swans last year in tackles. He's quite a fierce tackler, but not a big fella in stature.
And he finished the job right off. Hurriedly boot to ball. Matthews. 9 for the Kangaroos, 8 goals, 7 the Sydney Swans. 3-point lead to the Kangaroos.
Looks like Colbert's picking up Adam Goods, and Adam Goods is pushed right down into North Melbourne's 50. So that's not a bad matchup for Lee Colbert, because Goodsy will take him to where the ball is.
Burton was forced to do a lot of the ruck work last week after Capuano and McKernan went off the ground injured, and Hewitt's had a bit of a chance on the ball as well today for the Kangaroos.
And quite often when players are struggling for a little bit of touch or a little bit of confidence, they are thrown into the back line, and that's obviously what Dennis Pagan has done here with Colbert.
Hasn't been pretty the start of this second half. King on the turn, Goods drops a mark, and there was a shepherd off the ball before the ball arrived. There's going to be a Kangaroos free kick to Carey, and Andrew Dunkley is saying, what?
Yeah, Dunks was in front of Carey then, and hopefully we might pick a replay up on the monitor. But here it comes here. We see he makes an effort to go for the football, tries to protect Adam's Goods back there, and the umpire's paid a shepherd.
So Carey for number 7 drills it. Well, it's not as spectacular as the brilliant high mark. And you see this go on a million times.
I was just about to say, Drew, that instance could happen 10 or a dozen times in each given game, and you'd only see it get paid once in a blue moon.
Yeah, look, it was debatable whether Wayne Carey was ever going to get to that contest anyway. He was a fair way behind. So, but 7 goals for Wayne Carey.
So the Kangaroos getting out to a bit of a break now, leading by 9 points. One stage the Swans led by 20 in the second quarter. Schwass back to Bomford. Nearly the Swans' leading possession winner. Goods has a bit of a wrestle with Colbert. Colbert does well, getting it down to Scott. Abraham, Winston from half-back. Great vision. Grant. He's got Hewitt in short, Carey longer. Great kick.
He's just got that uncanny ability, Shannon Grant, to get out by himself, Plugger. He just works his way into the contest, then he's smart enough to know where the next ball's going to go, and he's got great finishing skills, as we see here. Shannon Grant on the left foot. He is a very, very good finisher.
Fantastic kick to Wayne Carey then, and puts the King in position for his 8th goal.
Hasn't missed yet, but he's missed now for the first time.
But we just see, you know, the majority of the times now, the Kangaroos are making the most of their options, you know, and the most of their chances, where the Sydney Swans just seem to be struggling. They just seem to be throwing the boot onto the ball and just sort of being a bit willy-nilly about things.
Schwass, that's a funny old kick. Was it smothered? Comes to Harvey, gets it back. Simpson from a standing start, a goal.
Yeah, those mistakes down back are just extremely costly. Wayne Schwass did kick into the man of the mark, and that is a pet hate of some of the coaches, isn't it? You really, here we go. We see Wayne just hesitate a little bit there, Plugger. Just held the ball back a touch, kicked into the man on the mark, and as I said, if you turn the ball over in the opposition's forward 50, it normally results in a goal.
Fancy Wayne Schwass, an All-Australian player from last year. He just took the extra step before he delivered the kick, and it was smothered. and resulted in a Kangaroos goal. 71 to 55 now. The Kangaroos starting to take charge. Burton wins in the middle. Bomford chops it off. Lewis. Philandia. Oh, the Pickett.
Yeah, that's a tough ask for Peter Philandia, isn't it? Not really a marking player, Peter Philandia, and Byron Pickett certainly is a marking player. Just jumped over the top of Peter then and took a very good mark.
Carey waits at the back. Dunkley beats him. Oh, shocking old kick, and it bounces away from Lewis. Lewis has to go for the boundary line. Oh, look at Pickett. And every bone is clanging now on Andrew Shawble. Pickett lined him up and cleaned him up.
And we just see Wayne Swass going off the ground there, Drew. No doubt just to get a little bit of a word off Rodney Eade there for that mistake he made a minute or so ago.
And Andrew Shawble, he'll be counting his ribs after that one. Oh.
And when he hits them, they stay hit, don't they, Byron Pickett?
He is hard as nails.
Yeah, it's a bit of an art, that, isn't it? He's very good at that, Byron Pickett. He knows when to go at the football and take the mark or take the football, and he also knows when to take his opponent on physically.
Peter Philandia might be saying, thank goodness it wasn't me. O'Connor somehow gets it out to Fosdyke. Down towards the pocket. Lachlan the nearest. Pike runs it out.
I'd say we're talking about Mickey O'Loughlin. He's had a couple of early touches in this quarter, but you'd have to say that Johnny Blakey's had the better of that duel. Mickey just hasn't seemed to really be leading around the forward line as he did last week in Cairns.
No, last week he just seemed to be running a lot more. He just seems to be a little bit flat-footed today, and that's playing right up the street of Johnny Blakey. He'd be all over him if he just wants to continue down that way.
Well, Ruzi, John Blakey's 15th season this year. How many did you overlap with him at Fitzroy?
Yeah, I played Johnny started in 1985, and he left, I think, in about 92, 93. So I played a lot of footy with John Blakey, and really, I think one of the big downfalls of the Fitzroy Football Club is when Johnny Blakey left. Not only is he a great player, but he's also a fantastic role model, and those guys around the club, even if they're not playing well on Saturdays, they're doing the extra weights, they're doing the running, and they're great role models. And I know that at the Kangaroos, they really respect him as well for his football ability, but for all the things he does off the field as well.
And it'd be a great example to all the younger kids coming on. Scott goes down the line for Carey. Dunkley gets it away from him, so Dunkley's won the last 2 contests, even though he can look up and see that Carey's kicked 7 goals, 1.
And I think, Andrew, in that case, he'd prefer to see Wayne up the ground, because if he takes his marks out on the wing half forward, he's obviously not going to kick goals from there. It's when he's taking marks inside 50 and on top of the goal square that he's very, very dangerous. But if he takes 10 or 15 marks out in the wing, he doesn't become as dangerous a player.
He beat him in the ruck too. Nix. O'Connor moving well. Good kick by Nix. Now Lachlan peels off down towards the pocket. And that's another kick that's been smothered. Nix trying to get onto it, and the ball is out of bounds at about the 50.
It's just becoming a real problem for the Sydney Swans, Plugger. We saw it last week probably 5 or 6 times, and again today we've seen some critical times where the Swans players have kicked into the man on the mark.
It was very critical then, because the Swans did have an open forward line, and Mickey O'Loughlin was running back into space then, only to see that the ball was touched by the Swans opponent.
Pickett flips up a hand pass, regains the football. That's Durkay. And now it's cleared from half-back. Shawble, still counting his ribs and teeth. Simpson, who kicked a great long goal. Kicked by Simpson. Carey from behind punches down. Too fiercely for Hewitt. Saddington breaks for the Swans. Up towards half forward, he just blazed away, and Lang takes the mark for the Roos.
And that's just what we're saying before about just being a little bit indirect, that the Swans have just seemed to be kicking the ball a little bit blindly at this stage, Ruzi.
Yeah, just poor decision making at the moment, just kick blindly up the field. Here's Carey once again taking another mark. Too far out to score. He looks like laying it off to Harvey. It's a physical contest there. The ball comes to ground. Looks like Nixie will clear for the Swans.
That again was a perfect setup for Carey to mark at centre-half forward. They went wide to the wings and then into centre-half forward. Here's Jude Bolton with a bit of space. O'Loughlin leads in short. Good football by the youngster. And he wants it back again, Bolton.
And that's exactly what Mickey O'Loughlin's got to do. He's got to run around. He's got to make John Blakey work.
He just took his eyes off the ball. He had it spent before he got it. Bolton 40 metres out, across the half-forward line to Goods. Well, his recovery was good, but I thought he was going to kick a goal. I think he did too.
And that's a lot better play by the Swans in that instance, Roosie.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about before, Plugger. In that case, here we see Jude Bolton picking up, and rather than blazing towards the goal square where there are 3 uncontested Kangaroos players, he did square the ball up, and that's good, very good vision. And once again, really for Sydney Swans to stay in the game, we need to see a forward, Adam Goods, kick the goal.
Swans haven't scored in this quarter. They badly need this goal. It's home.
And that could be just a shot in the arm that the Sydney Swans need. Once again, we see Jude Bolton there on the left foot. Found Michael O'Loughlin. That's much better by Mickey O'Loughlin. Passes it back to Jude Bolton. Has a slight fumble, but got enough time and enough composure to get the ball back, see Adam Goods by himself, and kicks it out in front of him. Adam Goods goes back and doesn't let him down.
So the Swans' first score for this quarter narrows the margin to 10 points.
And it was a critical goal. North Melbourne really seemed to be taking a stranglehold on this game, fellas. So it was a critical goal for the Sydney Swans to get back into the game.
Stafford up against Adam Hay, a youngster who's been at the Kangaroos for 3 years for about 60 reserves games. And he's been given a run in the ruck by Dennis Pagan. Kick a straight. Mark taken in defence by Kirk. Now to Goods. Nix. O'Loughlin's going to the bench. Could have almost offered a lead outright.
Talking about Matthew Nix, he's been very quiet today, Plugger. Normally a running option off that half back line, but hasn't had a lot of the footy.
No, he's just been a little bit quiet today. Hopefully, for Sydney's sake, he can get himself into the game and just start creating some options up there through the half-back flank.
Kirk looking for Fitzgerald. Bolton's got a chance. Ball's left for Fitzgerald. Out wide for Landia. Stafford turned the wrong way and lost it. Pagan's got it for the Kangaroos. Now to Lee Colbert. He clears out of defence to half-forward. Dunkley up. Should have taken the mark once he got there. Comes to Grant, and this is now trouble. Out wide to Winston Abraham. Archer on the move, and Archer takes them up.
The Kangaroos are really pushing numbers back into the Swans' defence. They cleared the ball there well. And we saw a contest at centre back. Andrew Dunkley, I think it was Andrew Shawbull. There obviously wasn't any talk there because they spoiled each other. Plenty of room on the Kangaroos' forward line. And Glenn Archer, who's been a little bit quiet today, has moved up to the forward line and taken a very, very strong mark.
It's one thing that Kangaroos today, they've always had plenty of room in their forward line, and that is exactly what a forward likes. There's plenty of room to work in and move around in. And as a back pocket player, he's pretty handy as a forward player too.
Well, as I said, Glenn Archer hasn't had a lot of the football, but the beauty of a player like Glenn Archer, he doesn't need to get a lot of the football to be a good player. His tackling and his ferocity at the football, particularly when he plays on the forward line, is very unsettling to the defenders. And as you said, Plugger, enormous amount of room for him to lead into. Takes a very, very strong mark. And the difference here, the Kangaroos convert, whereas Sydney haven't taken their opportunities.
Margin back out to 16 points. And the Kangaroos starting to find goal kickers outside of Wayne Carey. Carey's kicked one in this quarter, as well as Simpson and Archer. Grant. Abraham has a bit of a wrestle here with Nix. Abraham wins it, even though he's shorter. Pagan, Ryan Pagan. Punch out of defence was good by Stafford, and the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Greg Stafford getting back there, obviously very, very conscious of the influence of Wayne Carey and also the amount of space the Kangaroos have had on the forward line. The Sydney Swans really need to get their ruckman back there and helping out the defenders.
Wayne Schwass preparing to come back on after being benched. Here goes Harvey. Great play into Bell.
And wasn't that great play by Brett Harvey, eh?
He is lightning quick, and to be able to kick at top pace like that, that is a very, very difficult art to perfect. Peter Matera does it very often, but to get at top pace so quickly, here we see him, gives off the handball. Look how fast he's going.
And he could have easily gone back and had a shot there, but chose for the percentage and passed the ball off to his teammate in Peter Bell, I believe. Peter Bell doesn't let him down. Put it through for another 6-pointer. Kangaroos at this stage just go a little bit further in front, Roosie.
Yeah, look, they're looking very, very good at the moment, the Kangaroos. As we see, Brent Harvey very quick, and he probably could run into an open goal, but did elect to kick it to Peter Bell, and that's the percentage play. Kick it to the forward in front of goals. Bell kicks a goal. And it does look a little bit like, at the moment, boys, the Kangaroos are running away with this game.
Well, you might have some defensive work to do during the week, because if a bloke about 5'8" takes a mark about 15 metres from goal, it doesn't look well, does it?
Yeah, that's certainly right. And really took it in the area. You don't want to see their forwards taking it 10 or 15 metres out for an easy goal.
Here goes Bell again. Sensational season last year in the premiership year. And the kick goes on and on and on and out of bounds. Peter Bell was All-Australian. Who would have thought that after he started at the Fremantle Dockers, hardly managed a game. First Korean-born player drafted into the AFL.
And he finished second in their best and fairest last year, just behind Anthony Stevens. So he has been a fantastic addition to the Kangaroo side.
Actually good use of the body there by Hay. Ball across in front of goal for a throw-in.
Just on that kick there, just needs a little half kick just to get on the top of the goal square. Wayne Carey probably would be a little bit disappointed there. Had Andrew Dunkley one out. And just a short 10-metre kick on the top of the goal square, all that was needed in that position.
Now he's got him where he wants him, out in front of goals. Laying the tackle, Wayne Carey, and appealing for the free. Top competitor, isn't he?
He is a top competitor. He's had a few free kicks today, but I don't think he was ever going to get that one through. And he's even having a bit of a laugh about it himself.
The Swans want to get it towards the boundary line from here, not in front of goal, because Wayne Carey's just as likely to pluck one off from the umpire throwing it in the air and kick a goal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he does that, comes in the third man in the ruck contest.
Oh, he roves it. There's Abraham charging through. And the Swans now have got it to the line and breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, once again, Jason Setting to just take it over the line, nothing fancy.
You've got to be a little bit careful there, Roosie. That was bordering on being a free kick, I thought, that one.
Yeah, it depends, I think, what mood the umpires are in, Plugger, whether they give those or not.
Just didn't disguise it quite good enough, I thought. But anyway, he's got away with it.
Now it's in front of goal for the Kangaroos. The umpire's going to have to throw this up again. This is one of the experimental laws during the Ansett Cup.
Now, you'll normally find an umpire will pluck a free kick. We've had about 2 or 3 boundary throw-ins, a couple of ball ups, so it'll be interesting first. Oh, that's a great tap out. Simpson to very, very easy goal to Peter Bell.
Now, honestly, Adam Simpson is about my height, and he wins in the ruck and gets it to a rover straight on his chest running to goal.
Yeah, look, I'm just trying to look out there and see who is actually picking up Adam Simpson, because I'm sure, as you see, it looks like maybe Daniel McPherson, but you cannot see that happen in the forward line. That just absolutely destroys the defence and destroys the team to see a guy that's about 5'10" get the tap out. Peter Bell, second goal.
Well, it was just working around to in front of goal perfectly for the Kangaroos. I thought maybe Wayne Carey had come over the top and do that, not Adam Simpson.
You wonder whether that was a set play, Drew, whether they worked on that during the week, that Simpson came in late and got a great knockdown to Peter Bell.
Oh, I'm sure it's a play. I'm sure he did it last year, but you could hardly have more stunning effect than that one had. As Peter Bell said, thank you very much. Stafford goes off the ground. Armat with Pickett. Armat very quickly had rid of it, and I'm not surprised. Philandia, and the mark taken by Schwass, who's back on. Spent about 5 minutes getting his ear chewed off by the coach after having a kick smothered and setting up a goal for the opposition. It started the rot, actually, because the Kangaroos now lead by 28 points. Oh, good mark. Terrific mark, Fitzgerald.
And that was great play too. Matthew Nix coming up from defence. called the ball off Wayne Swass. It was out in the wing. They centred the ball, and he moved the ball on quickly and found Ryan Fitzgerald there. Pretty hard shot here, but once again, Roosie, these are the goals that you know, he just needs to kick.
He's a long way out. 52 metres. It's got the distance.
No trouble getting the distance at all there, was it? Like, it's a pretty big kick. He's probably kicked it from 55 to 60.
They have just missed a few crucial goals, haven't they, Plugger?
Yeah, there's been a few chances that, you know, they'll certainly look back on it and say, well, you know, if this and if that. And they've certainly had the opportunities to score more goals.
As we said at the start of the program, this game virtually a knockout game because they both came in undefeated, and whoever's 2 out of 2 at the end of this one is a long way towards making the semi-finals.
That's a good kick out from David King there. Robert Scott on the boundary line, so even if it does get spoilt by a Swans player, it's just going to go over the boundary line.
There's Ryan Pagan, 98 reserves best and fairest, rookie list for 2 years, and he's still on the rookie list. He's 22, so he wants to start getting on a list and playing some league football.
And they have got a very good backline set up, haven't they? Just about every time the ball's been kicked in from full-back, they have been able to clear the ball relatively easily.
Yeah, they seem to be pushing their midfielders back and really outnumbering the Sydney Swans boys in the forward half.
Well, they brought the ball across the ground, that's all right. Now they're going to go forward, see how they go. Well delivered, Matthews takes the mark. Goods, having delivered the pass straight to the bench, replaced by O'Loughlin. Kick by Matthews, big mark wanted by the Swans. Big mark's attempted, Bolton hurriedly boot to ball. Oh, Carey back at half-back. There's nobody on the forward line. Archer's the only man forward of the centre circle. Now get on your bike and get after that one. Seymour with him. Seymour says, I want the line. Archer still there. Well done, Seymour. And this time it's deliberate.
And he's got a 52, I believe, Drew. And that'll take him right back to the goal mouth. And a certain goal.
Well, you called it before, Plugger, didn't you? With, I think it was Jason Saddington putting it over the boundary line. And Brad Seymour, you didn't really disguise it. Probably would have been better in that case, maybe to actually pick the ball up. It bounced up knee-high, could have picked it up off the ground and then perhaps run over the boundary line. But just knocking it over as he did, giving a free kick. And then I think it was a Matthew Nix that gave away the 50-metre penalty. And do you think Rodney Eade would be seething in the box at the moment?
I can't believe that he's giving him a 50 for that. Like, for what reason was there a 50-metre penalty there?
He might have said something to him, Plugger.
I think it was a mouthing off. Well, Glenn Archer, 2 goals in this quarter, so it just goes to prove you don't need a forward line to kick goals. They did not have anybody forward of centre, and they still got a goal out of it.
That's the exceptional talent of Glenn Archer. He can play in defence, where he spends most of his time, and he also can play forward, where he is also very effective. A great player, Glenn Archer.
Archer's pretty happy with that one.
And we saw Wayne Carey pick up the ball there, Drew, at centre half back, and as you called it, there was no one in the Kangaroos 50, kicked down from Glenn Archer and a resulting goal.
They just try to keep their forward line as open as possible and just create one-on-one situations.
Simpson gets a little one up to Pagan. It bounces through. Archer, he'll crash through. Gets rid of the hand pass. They've got it going towards goal. Eventually the Swans clear. Shawble gets the hand pass to Nix. Close to the boundary line. O'Loughlin. Good kick by Nix. Inboard he comes to McPherson. But he lost his footing then because he could have gone on with things. Oh, he's given it straight up to Blakey. And Blakey paid the mark or free kick.
I think take your pick there, mark or free kick. And Johnny Blakey, as we've said before, has had a pretty good day today.
Well, it's been a big third quarter. They've kicked 6 goals to 1 in this quarter, the Kangaroos. It was absolutely nip and tuck to half-time. Harvey. Whoops. That's a free. Yeah, he'll go back and take it. Well, we haven't seen much of Calthorpe. We've seen a lot of this man, Carey.
And time again, Plugger, the open forward line. We go, the Sydney Swans going forward, just blazing away. Johnny Blakey takes a saving mark in defence. North, the Kangaroos are working it well through the midfield. And then plenty of room for Wayne Carey, David Calthorpe, kicking it out on the leading Carey. Really not a lot Andrew Dunkley can do about that.
I'm sure Carey knew it was going to go there. They knew that he was going to change direction, find the third umpire, and puts Wayne Carey in line for his 8th goal, I think it is.
It swings back. Did it clear the line? I think it did. That's 8 for Carey.
Yeah, they're really playing really good football at the moment, the Kangaroos. They're getting their midfielders down back. They're plugging up the holes for the Sydney Swans, and then they're moving it very well through the midfield to a very, very open forward line. And as you said, Plugger, I'm sure Wayne Carey knew exactly where that ball was going and kicks a goal for goal number 8. And it's pretty good effort at this early stage of the season.
Well, I saw Brendan Favola kick 12 on New Year's Eve in the Ansett Cup. And Carey, if he has a big finish to this game, he could get up there and match him.
It's going to be interesting to see what Dennis Pagan does with him, Drew, whether he's going to rest him at 3/4 time, bring him off for the last quarter, or if he wants to play the last quarter and play out a full match. It'd be interesting to see what Dennis does in that situation.
I think if you're getting about 3/4 of the club's salary cap, he might be left out there to kick a dozen.
Yeah, well, he might be too, but also there's, you know, like, just depends on how they go for the rest of this quarter. If they can kick a few more goals and get a comfortable lead, they might choose to rest him and bring him off for the rest of the game.
O'Loughlin, there's the siren for 3/4 time, so this is Sydney or the bush for Michael O'Loughlin.
Pretty tough kick this too. He's going to be kicking from about 55.
Breeze not a factor. Won't get there.
And just too far out of his depth there, kicking from too far out there, Ruzi. But I thought he played a lot better that quarter, Mick O'Loughlin. He worked a lot harder, and he was prepared to get out and meet the ball. I thought he played very well that quarter.
They have had a lot of kicks from outside 50, the Sydney Swans, and that's been the difference. Most of North Melbourne's shots for goal have been inside 50, and a lot of the Sydney Swans boys have been kicking from outside 50.
So after leading by just 3 at half-time, the Kangaroos now lead by 39. And welcome back to Manuka Oval, where it's getting overcast here now, and the strong sun of earlier and a 37-degree temperature has cooled things down, well, quite a lot. Still pretty warm, though. It's at 3/4 time, and the Kangaroos are 16-5, 101 to the Swans 9-8, 62. At one stage during the second quarter, the Swans led by 20 points, but then the Kangaroos got mobile. Carey has kicked 8 with 1/4 remaining. Archer kicked 2 in that third quarter, and Bell kicked 2 in the third quarter. Bomford and Goods 2 each for the Sydney. Last quarter about to get underway, and you'd want to put your money on the Kangaroos at this stage to remain undefeated after 2 rounds. 39 points is their lead. The Swans would have to storm back into it. Stafford gets it down to Schwass. O'Loughlin buried, and he'll take a free.
Got to be a free kick to Mick O'Loughlin there.
It's also interesting, Drew, talking about how seriously Dennis Pagan takes these games. Wayne Carey still on the ground, Glenn Archer still on the ground, so a number of their top players look like they might play the whole game.
Yes, against John Blakey.
Mick's been doing a fair bit of work with his goal kicking practice here, Ruzi, so just be interesting to see. He's just pushed it left again.
Got the distance okay.
Got to be disappointing for him. Then once again, I think he just got a little bit close to the man on the mark, just trying to make sure he gets the distance, and just a lapse of concentration there. That'll be disappointing for him. Disappointing for the Swans too, because they really need an early goal here to get themselves back in the match.
He kicked 3 last week, and that was his first score today, a point. Bomford, we talked about him. In he comes to ball. Maxfield off the left, penetrating kick. Schwass underneath it, comes out to McPherson. Now here's a bit of a chance. Bosdyke, centering kick. Well, Calthorpe got there.
Well, he done the right thing, Drew, but he just got it to the wrong bloke, and North Melbourne very quick, and they got back into space there and took an easy mark.
Archer, good tackle. He threw the ball under pressure from McPherson, and it's against Glenn Archer, who's not too happy with the decision.
You can't pick it up on the screen, but once again, the North Melbourne forward line, absolutely no one in it. The Sydney Swans forward line, very crowded.
Good kick, and Stafford takes the mark. Well within kicking distance. Now, Greg Stafford needs to kick this. The Swans have had plenty of chances, and he is going to be kicking from about 35 or 40.
Yeah, well done by Staff, who's playing in the ruck. Spider Burton just got caught out there at centre-half back. And Greg Stafford pushed down the ground. He does that very well. He needs to do that more often throughout the season. He's become a goal-kicking ruckman plugger.
And he can be too. He's a great talent, and you know, Sydney are certainly relying on him this year to have a big season. A lovely kick too by Stafford.
He's nailed it. Well, that might give the Swans some hope that they can come back and kick something like 7 goals to nothing in the last quarter to win.
Yeah, and Greg Stafford, as I said, being a player playing on a guy like Spider Burton, who's not super mobile, Burton, he's just got to push forward, he's got to move around the ground, he's got to get used. He really needs in this quarter probably to rack up 5 or 6 possessions and maybe kick a couple of goals to really be an effective ruckman.
Back in the middle, and Greg Stafford has kick-started the Swans at the start of this last quarter. Burton wins in the middle. Bell charges after it. But good use of the body, clears a path for Schwass. Seymour is there. Bomford again. Spiral to half forward. Pike punches away from Lewis. Oh, Maxfield was going at 1,000 miles an hour. Went without the ball. Comes to O'Loughlin. Does everything so beautifully. Seymour, Bomford again linking up. Kick by Bomford. He wants ball. Jason Ball. Oh, he got his hands to it. Couldn't mark. Goods rips the ball out to Lewis. Pops the ball over the top. Allison. He's kicked it.
And that's a lot better passage of play by the Swans.
You talked about before, there was an instance with Lee Colbert just dropping a mark earlier in the game. A little bit similar here to Jason Ball. He had great position on his opponent here, and we see him come in now. If that had been Wayne Carey, would have swallowed that mark. Just dropped the footy. Good contest by Adam Goods. Got the ball out to Brett Allison, and he is a very, very good finisher.
Well, the margin back to 26 points, so there's plenty of time left, and maybe it is insurmountable. Umpire Howlett bounces. Spider Burton gets it down to Calthorpe, the 2 new players from previous clubs. Dunkley wants the line, wants to make it subtle. Brent Harvey outside of his foot. How do you like this? Gee, I thought that was going to sail through just off the hands and a behind.
There's a perfect instance there where maybe the ball would have been better off just trickling over the boundary line. And we just see the North Melbourne play good enough to keep the ball in and give Harvey the option there and the chance for another score, but unfortunately for them, it's only gone through and registered 1 point.
Now cleared by the Swans up towards centre wing. Fosdyke towards the 50. Oh, juggled by Colbert. Well, welcome back, Lee Colbert. That's good for the ex-Geelong skipper.
As we said before, it's going to take Lee Colbert a little bit of time. Play some games under his belt, but that was much better, a very strong mark.
Kicks back to centre wing. Stafford flew high. Schwass using his body. Kangaroos want to keep the ball in. It's hurriedly kicked forward by Makepeace and marked by Bell. Troy Makepeace, the reserves best and fairest last year. Bell's kick, marked by Carey. And there's nobody in the goal square. He can have a ping for this and bounce it through. He goes long and he says, run onto that. Abraham is there. Oh, great mark. Well, did he complete the mark? Robert Scott. Kick smothered, and somehow it is a behind.
Once again, a good illustration of the way the Kangaroos play their football. Carey marks it outside 50, turns around, as we see him here, a very open forward line. Kangaroos forwards running into open space, running back to the goal square, and probably wasn't a mark.
Yeah, good decision from the umpire there not to pay that.
So the Swans still alive. They trail by 28 points. 5-goal deficit. And every time Kangaroos kick 1 goal, the Swans know they need 8 in this last term. Comes to King. Left footer. Saddington works to the front. Good mark. All Swans out here. Dunkley. Bomford. Geez, fit Andrew Bomford. He's been everywhere today. Oh, he's kicked it straight out of bounds.
He is a very fit player, Andrew Bomford. Very quick and very fit.
Classic example then of using your first option then. Bomford should have got the ball on quickly to Adam Goods, who was making a lead. He chose to hold onto it, and at the end of the day, they've got to be happy with it going out of bounds, and they'll start again.
Ankle problem there for Matthew Nix. And Winston Abraham dragged down by McPherson. Abraham wants a free kick, and there's nothing doing.
There's Matthew there. Yeah, looks, obviously got the ice on the ankle. Not too sure how bad that is, but hopefully for Swans fans, he's a pretty important part of the team.
Abraham caught on the blind side by Allison, but found Carey.
The delivery to Wayne Carey's just been exceptional today. Another left foot kick out into space, and with Carey's size, and he's also very, very quick for a big fella too, so when he does get in front, it's impossible to get around him.
Unloads with a big one. It's away to the right. Stafford's back there, fumbles, and it's rushed through for a behind. And these rushed behinds, and there have been 3 of them in this last quarter, might finish up making Sydney need an extra goal to get up and win. Seymour. Margin is now 29 points.
North Melbourne forwards doing a very good job of holding the play up here. As you can see, Brad Seymour a little bit confused about where to put the ball there. And the Swans will take a free kick there for pushing it back to Andrew Dunkley.
Wobbles the ball across the centre half back. Saddington takes it from Matthews. Saddington a long kick. Goods. And O'Loughlin there as well. It comes to Bomford. Where is he playing? Great kick, Bomford. Works to the back. Ball. Didn't take clean possession. Ahmed. Oh, Wilson Pickett in the midnight hour. He has covered 2 of them. Up towards centre wing. Carey takes the mark. Once again, a wide open forward line with the King back in between half back and wing. I don't know who's kicked that to. Matthews runs it out.
That last forward movement from the Sydney Swans was a great illustration of how the Kangaroos defenders play. Byron Pickett left his man. He would have been 20 yards away from his man, Byron Pickett. Took a chance, and they will do that down back. Glenn Arch is very good at it as well. As I said, Byron Pickett's very good at it. They're good at chancing their arm, and they'll take a risk.
Harvey showed him the ball, took it away. To the edge of the square, 2 against 2. Bell gets back, gets his hands free. Pagan did well. Scholl, hardly seen any action. Craig Scholl loses control of it. Wonderful defence by Jared Crouch, and what a hand pass. Now the Swans open slather down the outer side. Maxfield to O'Loughlin. Back to Maxfield. Plenty of run. Maybe the Swans still a chance. Through the cricket pitch area. And a beautiful pass. Goods or Ball? Jason Ball.
Well, that's much better by the Swans, and great running too from Stewie Maxfield. Passed the ball to Mickey O'Loughlin, got the handball back, fumbled it a bit through the middle, but then delivered the ball beautifully to Jason Ball there. And he's directly in front, about 20 metres out, and should make a meal of this one.
He'll kick it.
Well, this will be 3 goals in the last quarter to the Swans. The Kangaroos haven't goaled. They've had 3 rush behinds. The Swans in touch.
Yeah, the movement from the Sydney Swans there was a lot slicker, and you can see it is very hard for the defence if you're going to move the ball quickly. Stewie Maxfield, and that's a good lesson to the youngsters. Even though he kicked that ball, he still followed it up, as you said, Plugger. Had a little touch of the fumbles. Very good delivery on the left foot. And Jason Ball took a mark and kicks a reasonably easy goal in the end.
And that's what it's all about. Move the ball quickly into the forward line and give plenty of options to your forwards.
Schwass out of the middle, caught from behind by Harvey. Bomford overruns. So it's still a 50-50 ball as it spills out towards the wing. But Simpson wins the race. Matthews. Along the line, that's clever. Very clever by Ben Matthews. Well, in this last quarter, the Swans have kicked 3-1. Goals to Stafford, Allison and Ball. And the Kangaroos' only scores have been 3 rush behinds. Stafford palms it down. Finishes up with Simpson. O'Connor wrestles it clear. Well, it's not clear yet. Was that a game of football, or was it mud wrestling, or what?
Well, I think that's a good illustration of why they did bring in that rule, but I still think the rule's a little bit unfair. It was a good contest, and
A lot of great efforts from a lot of players there. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing that. I don't mind seeing a scoreless quarter if it's an absolute arm wrestle and a real slog.
yeah, look, I think if players are having a go, and I mean, tackling is part of the game, and you like to see players tackle, you like to see them go in hard, and you also like to see them get rewarded when they do attack the football.
That was the new rule then, and it's a very harsh rule, I can assure you.
Fosdyke was penalised then, and Pagan takes the free kick. Here's a chance, Seymour. Well, for Landia, a lead by Goods. He's too quick. He's a long way out. Kick by Goods. Disappointing.
There's Byron Pickett once again, Drew, just leaving his opponent in Robbie Armett and being prepared to just stand in that dangerous area. He does that extremely well.
Harvey works it down to the wing to Calthorpe, who couldn't quite settle in Brisbane. 1 year with the Lions after a premiership with Essendon. Grant. Burton, tallest man in football, and once again he didn't have to get off the ground.
I'll tell you what, the game's, I think, has lifted a notch in intensity in the last 5 minutes. We've seen the ball just flying up and down the ground, and it's a credit to the fitness of both sides that they're still playing flat out at this stage of the game.
Well, what can Spider generate out of those long legs? He is about 40 metres, bit more, out from goal. Kicked it high, kicked it long, and offline.
I reckon that would have sewn it up, Plugger. If you had to kick that goal, it probably would have been curtains for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, it's right at that stage of the game, but look, Sydney's still in this, and they can convert here, get the ball up to the forward line quickly and score a goal. Well, you never know what can happen.
Yes, when you think of missed chances late in the second quarter, after they led by 20 points and then went in at half-time behind, some of the chances they had. Here's another holding the ball. Swans free to Stafford.
Yeah, I think that new rule again, I believe Calthorpe actually dropped the ball just before he goes to ground and then picked it up off the ground.
You can actually see him drag the ball in here, just there, and
there
just
he goes.
drags it back in, and that's a free kick, son.
Yeah. Up inside the attacking 50, and Lee Colbert takes the mark.
It's good to see Colbert too. All of a sudden he's taken a couple of grabs, got himself into the play. He'll certainly be better for the run next week.
To Robert Scott, also an ex-Geelong player. Kick by Scott to a big pack. Stafford well placed, comes to the front. Calthorpe did well in a big pack. Hurried kick goes to Matthews. Space for Goods on the cricket pitch area. Now who's he got on the forward line?
Adam Goods is pushing right up the ground, and Glenn Archer's just not going with him at the moment. Plugger allowing Adam free access to the football.
Bomford goes out wide. Armat, he's got toe. Will he run round? No. Pops it over the top, and O'Loughlin. This might be his limit, 50 metres.
Might be just a bit too far out there. He's got to look for another option a little bit closer in there. But there's a lot of players, very congested there, Roosie. I don't know whether, don't like his chances of finding someone here.
Yeah, you can't see it on the screen, but there really is nothing for him to kick it to at the moment.
In short, Lewis.
And he's found someone. Well, that's a great composed effort there by Mickey O'Loughlin. There was nothing on for a long time there. He waited and waited, finally found someone. Dale Lewis presented himself, and he's found him and give the Swans an opportunity of another goal here.
And that's what you like to see, Plugger. Rather than Mickey bombing it in long, you like to see him hold on to it. And Dale Lewis has
converted.
Goal.
3 goals the margin. And back come the Swans.
Yeah, it looked like a three-quarter time, guys. It was all over. It looked like how far the Kangaroos. But the Sydney Swans have responded. As we said, Mickey O'Loughlin, very, very intelligent footballer. Mickey holds onto the football. And Dale Lewis, another very smart footballer and a very skillful player, converts from about 30 metres out. And the Swans are right back in this game.
Well, the Swans received a tongue lashing at three-quarter time from Rodney Eade, and they've responded. And the Kangaroos are goalless in the last quarter. The Swans have added 4. Burton rips out the hand pass. Colbert, now it's Clayton. Winston Abraham, that is a beautiful kick, and it breaks the last quarter drought for the Kangaroos.
And that was pretty much easy as you like, wasn't it? Fantastic kick there, Winston Abraham just casually strolled into the 50 and just unleashed a beautiful drop punt and never looked like missing.
Yeah, very, very poor, the Sydney Swans in there at the centre bounces. Just an easy goal here in the end of Winston Abraham. Just got it out far too easily out of the centre.
It's just when you need things to really tighten up in the middle, Swans will be very disappointed with that.
Well, now the Kangaroos have kicked a goal. The Swans know they need an 8-goal last quarter to get up and win. It's a big ask.
Yeah, it is a big ask. It's always going to be hard from a three-quarter time. And it can be very deflating for a team when the ball comes straight out of the centre and goes straight through for a goal with little or no tackling from the opposition.
In fact, another 4 goals will only get them level, so they need 4 and a bit. Goods in the ruck, down to Schwass. Bit of distance on that. Oh, Blakey. O'Loughlin. Adam Goods followed up from his ruck work. That is brilliant football. It warranted a goal, but he missed it.
Well, that's going to be a telling point at the end of this game there. We just see the ball spilled off. Mickey O'Loughlin grabbed it, got it quick hands out to Adam Goods, and he really should have put that one home, that one, Roosie. That is a very, very costly miss, that one.
Yeah, it certainly is. But, Drew, you called it correctly. He did the ruck contest and then ran down the forward line. It just shows you what an athletic, mobile player is and how dangerous he can be.
Clayton out near the wing. Ball stays in. The Swans want it in. Kangaroos wouldn't mind it out. Abraham dispossessed. Comes to Pagan. Camped under it, Seymour. Courageous mark.
Great effort there. You just seen Andrew Dunkley put himself in between Brad Seymour and Wayne Carey. Give Wayne Carey no chance of spoiling. And great effort there from both Swans players, Seymour and Dunkley.
Nothing more than Dunkley did earlier on when he was penalised.
Exactly
and finished
right.
up being a goal. Philandia to McPherson in the direction of O'Loughlin. Pike did the spoiling.
Just a bit of a disappointing kick there from Frosty. Just didn't give the forward much of a chance there. Just lollied it up. And kick could have just been a little bit better in that situation, I thought.
It'll be interesting to see what Mickey does here. Really close in the pocket. A very, very hard angle to kick a goal from. Will he try and square it up in front of the goals plugger, or will he have a shot?
I think he's got to have a shot. Look, he's within range. I think he's got to have a shot from here.
He goes the banana kick.
Magnificent.
Good kick.
Oh, very close. Judging by the goal umpire there, I thought he might have just snuck that one through. But I think in that situation, he's got to have a shot. Look, there's not much time left. And I just think then was the prime opportunity. He's just got to go back and do his best to kick it. Unfortunately, it never worked out that way.
Well, they've just added the bits and pieces. Now all they need is the 4 goals to nothing to get up and win. 22 points down.
Yeah, they're certainly peppering the goals at the moment. They certainly have the upper hand, the Sydney Swans, but they do need to convert their opportunities.
Clayton, buried. Bolton, he's a good tackler. Jude Bolton.
He is a fantastic tackler, Drew, and that was another perfect example of it.
Ball gets underneath it. Ball's knocked out. Kirk. Lewis is there. Couple of country boys. Bell, the hand pass away to Simpson is good. Pike coming off the back line. Oh, wide open is Grant on centre wing.
There's Shannon Grant again, 20 metres clear of anyone. He has an unbelievable ability to get out in his own.
But he had absolutely no one to give it to there, so he just had to blaze away.
That may have been his opponent that actually marked that.
And this is vital here. Fosdyke outnumbered 3-1 in this vicinity. Oh, a bit of sleight of hand by Winston Abraham. Now you see it, now you don't.
Yeah, it was a critical possession for Nick Fosdyke just to get over the boundary line, because as you called it, Drew, the Kangaroos had 3 players around the ball, and as you see here, if Winston had been able to get that and whip it back to a teammate, they were off and running.
22 the margin. The ball back out of bounds on centre wing. It's been all the Swans in this last quarter.
Just on that before, Drew, when Shannon got the ball, that's one of the downfalls of Pagan's paddock. If the forwards are all up the ground and there's a quick turnover, sometimes a Kangaroos player will get the ball with no one to kick it in their forward line.
The clock shows us there's just 2 minutes to go, so time might run out for the Swans. McPherson runs it over the line for a throw-in.
I think you called it correctly before, Plugger. That was Shannon Grant kicking it to Ben Matthews, who was his direct opponent.
Yeah, Shannon Grant's obviously been caught up the ground, and Ben Matthews elected to stay back. And as we've seen, Shannon Grant got the ball, but only kicked it to his direct opponent.
Here's Matthews again to take another mark. He's played pretty well, I reckon.
He's done some very good things, Ben.
Oh,
that's
gee.
a dangerous kick, though. Cross goal, and guess who's got it? Wayne Carey.
Into Calthorpe. Carey taken out of the play after he got rid of it, and not too happy about it either. He and Seymour having a bit of a go.
And that's just a really crude tackle there from Andrew Bolton, Plugger. Just didn't need to do that. Came over the top and gave a free kick for in the back.
Oh! He did it once here before and took the mark of the year, and he tried to repeat Winston Abraham.
I reckon if you get that high, Drew, you've got to pay him, regardless of whether you take it.
Usually when they get that high, they're not playing football. They're on some substance.
North Melbourne seem to have really got back into gear the last couple of minutes. We may see Winston Abraham's leap again. Oh, he got a fingernail on it. Pay it, Drew, pay it.
It was pretty similar, actually, the way he came in from the side of the pack and just leapt. Came from a long way. Juggler, and the mark taken by Hay, Adam Hay. Well, he's played lots of reserves football. He came from East Perth. He's been here for 3 years, 60 reserves game, and hasn't broken his league duck.
Look, he's certainly a big lad too, and it was a very good kick there. Just Brad Seymour was in front, but just too tall. Young Hay.
Carey outnumbered, and the ball through for a minor score. Well, the Swans have really run this out after being given a tongue lashing at three-quarter time.
For most of the game, they've been very, very good, I think, Drew. It's just that one period there, late in the second quarter, that really led the Kangaroos back into it. And you just can't do that with Kangaroos.
McPherson clears from left half-back flank. O'Connor pushed out by Archer.
And it's very hard to push out Ryan O'Connor too. You better give it back quickly or we'll get a 50 on him.
Is that the siren? The umpire's taken the football and they're shaking hands at him. I couldn't hear the siren. In fact, I haven't heard it all day. That is full time here, and the Kangaroos have run out winners. They hung on in the last quarter despite the fact that they kicked just one goal in the last term, and they finished up winning by 23 points. 17-10 to 13 goals 11.
Look, I thought it was a fantastic contest, Plugger. Both teams played a very high standard of football, and I think the difference was the Kangaroos, their efficiency in their approach to the forward line. They got it down there, they got it to Wayne Carey, working in plenty of space down there. Number of times he was one out. He also led very well. But I think that was the difference between the two teams. The Kangaroos' efficiency into their forward line, and a lot of their goals were kicked inside 50.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. And what a great effort from Wayne Carey. When the side was just struggling a little bit in the first quarter and the first half of the second quarter, he kept going, and he kicked 6 of his goals early in that second quarter, and he kept them right in the game.
He kicked 8 and they won by 23.
God bless our native land. North Melbourne, North Melbourne. Out we come, out we come, out we come to play. Just for recreation's sake, to pass the time away. Lots of fun, heaps of fun, enjoy yourselves today. North Melbourne boys are hard to beat when they come out to play. So join in the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne will be premiers in 2011.
Premiers in 2000. Yeah, it doesn't quite scan, does it? Well, they just hung on, the Kangaroos, after leading by 39 at three-quarter time. They finished up winning by 23. 17-10, 112 to 13-11, 89.